out in podcast form as well as videos on YouTube soon for the Lark Network channel. And it will be here every 2 weeks for you to come consume live. So I've been listening to the podcast edits that I've been being sent, and they sound so good. I'm so stoked for you guys to be able to catch up and re-listen if you missed anything. But don't worry, we're going to get you caught up on what happened last week. But first, a few housekeeping announcements. One, welcome to all of you, and I thank you so much for being here. You guys already being here this early and right off the bat is exciting and wonderful, and I couldn't love you more for it. So we then ask, if you guys are here, some of you have been here from the start, some of you are new, and we love that. We are working hard to make sure we have the biggest group possible. So right now, Zep, if you would put that link in the chat. We just blew it up 5 times. I love it. Excellent. Folks, what I just dropped in the chat there, what we had Zep drop, is the link to a tweet about the show happening right now. If you guys use Twitter, the biggest thing you can help us do is have an audience, and by being here, that's step 1, but telling a friend and word of mouth is step 2. So if you guys would take 10 seconds before we start this and share that tweet, I promise you're not going to miss anything except a few quick announcements for the next 60 seconds. If you don't do it, that's no problem, but yeah, at the start of our stream is the best time to let people know so they can join in the next couple minutes and not miss anything themselves. So I hope you guys would do that for us. Now, some of the things to note that we have managed to do, we mentioned it before. We, as the Lark Network, are affiliates now with Found Familiar Coffee. So if you enjoy some coffee, go check them out. Found Familiar does D&D related coffee with cool blends and artwork from artists all around the world that they partner with to do things like Goodberry, Thieves' Cant, Face Step, all good stuff. And I super appreciate anyone going to check them out. If you do, please check them out at foundfamiliar.com/Lark podcast, and you guys will get 10% off your first order. Plus the network, we get a little kickback every time you buy coffee, and it helps us pay for things to move forward and get things like character art and all that stuff. So yeah, much appreciated. Thank you very much for sharing that. Okay, I think now, other than that, let's go ahead and get you guys a recap on what happened last week so that we don't waste any time. You will have the ability to hit us with posture checks and or hydrates. We will acknowledge them when we can so that we don't throw off the flow of things, but that'll help us stay postured and drinking H2O or whatever we have at hand. And beyond that, let's do that recap. So last episode, how y'all doing?
I'm alive, but I'm dead. All I can think of is we're super dead.
I was like, we're looking pretty good for some dead bitches.
Yeah. So last episode, we got introduced to these characters, and we got introduced to the clan of Cauldareen, where these 5 exist, and they work. They have been placed together on a team titled currently Team 10. In the future, you may gain an additional team name, but you are currently simply Team 10, and you were given your first training exercise as a team, and that sent you out to go and track down some satyrs who work for the clan of Cauldareen, and your job was to find them, defeat them, and come back. But that did not go as planned, as each and every one of you died out there. And as that happened, the final member struck down and died. You awoke back at the training ground, still holding on to the Staff of Light from the Light Genasi, and Genji Wave laughed. Now, I think that got you all caught up. How's everybody feeling today? Everybody doing all right? Everybody ready for this?
Heck yeah.
Born ready.
Yeah. I know we're going to up the ante this time, so I can't tell how, so I'm very excited for that.
Well then, why don't we go ahead? I, the audience, was nearly traumatized, and the first question is, how you doing? I appreciate that. All right, well, let's get into it, and let's get y'all with that good intro. At the mesa of a mountain in the land of trickery, we find a forest. Withered trees of dull green and brown packed tightly to paint the scene as a thick fog rolls outward and down the cliff sides. A sad state for a forest, but a perfect place for a hideout. Beyond the fog, beyond the trees, beyond the illusions, we see a lush forest teeming with life, leading to a village brimming with energy. As the organization responsible for monitoring magical anomalies and fighting back against the corruption of magic, the clan of Cauldareen won't be caught sleeping. We see teams of agents returning to base via the teleportation circles on the outskirts of the village. Robotic creatures crawl the treetops of the deceiving forest, monitoring for those permitted. And we find new recruits for the clan of Cauldareen, hard at work, training for their next mission. Players, introduce yourselves.
Hi, I'm Myri, and I am going to be playing Brutus, the human paladin.
Nice. Hello, everyone. My name is Mustafa, name so nice you gotta say it twice, or as known on the internet as Moose or the Super Goat. And today I will be playing Tear, the ASMR druid, specifically a Circle of the Stars, because he's a star, and that is me.
Hello, hello. I'm Grim Songbird, and I will be playing Hiccup, a lizardfolk wild magic sorcerer.
Hi, I'm Amelia, and I will be playing Tarek's niece, a drow blood hunter.
Hi, I'm Ivy, and I will be playing Ruby, a fire genasi arcane trickster rogue.
These are the next defenders of this land. These are the Cauldareen Chronicles. And we watch as arrows fly, soaring across, striking their target. A minion flies down and knocks Ruby clean out of the sky as she lands on her back. Team 10 assembles in front of Anna Faye at the beginning starting track as they are going to be put through the ringer after a magnificent display of their skills to demonstrate to each other their best abilities. The leader of the clan of Cauldareen makes his entrance. With a laugh and a twist of a staff, the light genasi Genji enters, striking his staff deep into the ground, granting all of these tired and weary travelers the energy to go on. My friends, it's wonderful to have you. Now your next mission's going to be a real fun one. Tagor tells the crowd around him what today's tactic will be. You are to follow Mel and Odie out into the woods and get them back. Defeated or defeated yourself. At this, you head off into the woods and we watch as our party makes their way through an illusion, through wild animals encountering them, and eventually succeeding in their task. But not all is well here, as the illusion has not lifted. Finally, storm giants enter the field, a lightning bolt thrown, a boulder crushing a teammate, running for your lives, and yet none survive. In a defiant final action, Brutus, the human paladin, retaliates against the ensuing giant with a hellish rebuke as they await back at the training ground. My friends! Wow! He really got you there. And as the energy pulsing throughout your heart comes rushing through your body as you recognize you are back, you are alive, you are present, and evidently not dead. You are all still holding on to the staff of light that the light genasi wizard Genji Wave holds out, and it is still glowing at the top. What do you do?
So giants, there's giants coming. I think I saw the future. Better be careful.
What the fuck was that?
I think it's the future.
Billy Berger, thanks for the follow. Oh, yes. So I am Genji. I do illusions. You were an illusion. I thought that was clear.
Why though?
I can answer that. As Kagor chimes in, the drow leader of the clan of Cauldareen, who has been observing over your training. This was the final test we do when we piece together a team to show how they work together, but also to reveal their true nature to each other and to ourselves.
So that wasn't the future.
That's dumb.
Hiccup's gonna let go of the staff and go, "Thanks, I hate it," as he dusts himself off.
And Mel and Odie chime in. Yeah, we don't really enjoy it either. Yeah, no, we do not enjoy it. Not very fun. Why do I always get ripped in half? Well, I got struck down with a lightning bolt. As always, he is very mean to us, Kagor. Genji, it's nothing. It's an illusion. Nothing matters.
But it hurts. Feels like dying.
Yeah.
Then it is a good illusion. Kagor chimes in. It is imperative for you all to know your limits, to know your teammates' limits, and to know what you look like on your darkest days. Sometimes you will find each other out there like that. And that is the sort of thing you have to be prepared to handle. You cannot work as a cohesive team unless you know each other inside and out. In this case, literally inside out. Thank
I
you,
hate
Genji. Thank you.
Yeah, some of you're lucky you went first. It was just ugly after that.
And all of them, everyone at this point recognizes they saw everything that was happening. Even after they died, they still saw how the next of you went. They got to witness every moment.
Not as lucky as you would think.
With that, I believe it is time to assess you. And Anafe chimes in. It would be my pleasure.
That was not the assessment?
Oh,
You've
Oh,
been graded on
sorry.
trauma.
this is.
I'm actually not very
training.
good at. Is there a written part? Because I'm not
Oh no,
you know,
the test is done.
very good at writing.
About getting you caught up on how you did.
Oh.
You were being tested on 3 things, Anafe says, and the half-elf rogue instructor steps towards you. The first, as she walks around the line of you, you're being tested on your ability to see the truth. Always expect there to be more than you are told out in the field. The mission started well before you were told about it. The moment you touched that staff, it had begun. You didn't know that. Danger doesn't warn you in advance either. So be prepared. In that, none of you knew. Brutus showed a moment of hesitation, but for good reason, accepted. It took you a while, but you ultimately found your way out of the illusion first. The first wave of illusion teaches you truth. The second thing we were testing was your ability to resist temptation. The Song of the Satyrs is a real representation of the world's temptation. Your friends can become your enemies if you aren't careful. Know how to communicate and know your teammates both as allies and opponents. This is a hard truth you must know. And she looks over at Tear. Caught in the moment and by a spell, you attacked your own. And if they are unaware of how to handle you, if that ever happens, one of you could be the undoing of the other.
Yes.
And finally, you were tested on your ability to react in a dire situation. One day, you and your team may face a deadly situation, and your split-second decisions and your trust in each other will determine how you respond. The first to die was Ruby. Ruby, you were placed in a leadership position and led your team out there. Your leadership needs a bit of work. There was a good use of your teammates' abilities in tracking and discerning problems, as well as deciphering what Brutus was trying to communicate. You ultimately undid the first illusion through that, but you could have set them up in a better formation. And in the end, you let your guard down and you called out a warning to your team, but in looking away, you took death for it. Your strong suits are stealth and distance. Loss of leadership on the battlefield could cost your entire team their lives. Learn to communicate effectively without exposing yourself at the same time. What have you to say for yourself?
You're correct. She kind of looks a little deflated.
Aw.
The next to experience this situation was Eric's. Eric's, as you went, you reached out and reacted to try and grab Ruby. Grabbing Ruby is the thing that cost you your life in this situation. Going back for a teammate, though, is by no means a poor choice. So let this be what I have to say for you. You read as a hothead, but you did prioritize your teammates' safety over the battle or your own escape. Good intentions can still get people killed, but at least your team is aware of what you would do in that instance. Next, taken out, Hiccup. You ran from the situation, which in and of itself is not a bad thing. But even retreating can be tactical. You stayed in view and showed your back to the enemy. Your survival could have meant the survival of fallen teammates. What say you? I've read in your file you hold back from accessing your magic fully. Perhaps your reaction would have been a little more better suited if you get that under control. And Terex, perhaps you need to access more of yours. What say you?
Access more what?
Your potential, your
Um,
abilities.
I'm trying. But, you know, when giants are throwing boulders at you, it's kind of hard to work on technique and form, so I'm working on it.
Fair.
Yes.
You were led astray by a scent. The dog's hearing and scent may be excellent, but you must be versatile. Otherwise, things can be crafted specifically to deceive you. Don't forget, your eyes can still be deceived. Attack and operate as needed. In the end, you fought until death, though, and you attacked an immeasurable enemy. Why?
Because these friends, even if I've known them so little, are worth giving a chance to. Maybe my last burst of light can give my last few friends some hope, and if they leave, then maybe we can get a winning chance. Battle doesn't end there.
Do you believe what you did, attacking in that form, was the pinnacle of your abilities? You believe you drew out everything you could in that last moment?
think so. No. I think I
If it-
could have shown it a little brighter.
If a time ever comes that your light is to be snuffed out, never put a limit on it, so you do not die in vain.
I won't.
Brutus, you sought to escape in the end. In the beginning, you noted something wrong and were able to pick up on the illusion. From there, dealing a finishing blow to the boar. And ultimately, you aided in the destruction of Mel and Odie's amulets. You assessed the situation fairly, and when the giants arrived, you sought to escape. Well done. In this instance, that was also a viable option, yet you utilized the tree cover and stayed out of line. You used to lead a troop before you got here, I understand.
Right. Yes, that was, a little while ago now. Though, yes, I did.
And while you may have some misgivings of how that turned out, or what it turned out to be, you must trust yourself more in such a situation, and others will too. Had your words or conviction been more present, perhaps more of your team would have made the same decision with you. And if escaping was the proper answer, more would have made it. There is not to say to any of you that there was a proper answer here. It is undoubtedly given in such a way, there is no right answer on purpose, so that in that panic, we get to reveal what you would do, how you would spend that last moment. None of you failed in this situation, but you all have places to improve upon.
Right.
Acknowledge your teammates and their abilities, and they will acknowledge yours. Acknowledge their weaknesses, and you can hold each other accountable, because a loose chain can be the undoing of an entire mail. Understood?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Understood.
It was a good test.
She's always so aggressive. Yeah, she's super aggressive, always.
Brutus just looks around sorta.
And Mel and Odie are just talking to each other out loud, and she throws a glance in their direction. And Kagor chimes in now. Well, so it's always a bit much. We'll need to actually get you rested up at this point, as you'll be feeling we're not exactly at full health here, as you have definitely been. You definitely were using your own abilities during that, and we can't go rejuvenating you the quickened way too often, otherwise it has an effect.
Is that safe?
Yeah, no, we're not gonna. We're probably no. You should probably rest normally, and that will be the best option. At this point, we'll do a little more assessing later, going over the tapes here. But I believe we should have you taken to your docile, and you'll be ready to go. We'll send for you when needed. And he motions to Anafe, and she goes, all right. Overall, take these lessons and adapt. Your survival, your teams, and the world out there depends on it. Now, follow me. And he motions for you to follow her as she leaves the practice field, leaving behind Kagor and Mel and Odie and Genji all on the field as they continue to talk. He walks your ragged, tired party through the clan of Cauldareen. And
Can I
yeah, go right ahead.
walk alongside Tear for a moment? And Hiccup is gonna get Tear's attention by taking his pinky finger and just locking it with his for a sec. It says, I know you didn't hurt me on purpose. I know that wasn't what you wanted to do.
No, I'm sorry, and I'm sorry I wasn't there to take your body where it needed to be after you died.
Hey, I ran because I thought everybody would be better without me, so I can try to help the base.
We're only better because of you.
Yeah, when I'm not a fucking plant, he says as he lets go of his pinky.
In every form, decoration is important. Trees give us life.
Yeah, but
Not me, but yeah.
trees can't slay giants.
We can't slay giants.
Times in.
I thought
No.
everyone did very well.
Yeah. We did, you know what? Yes. Yes, we did. We did the best that we could. We were gonna die anyways, but we died nobly. We did great. We all had nobility in our hearts, and we had passion in there, and we're gonna keep doing it that way until we do it right, and we're gonna keep doing it better every time.
And as you move through the clan, having this conversation and the tiredness setting in, you take in the aesthetic you've seen several times before over the last year. The clan resembles the architecture of the land of war, with some influences from the land of forge. Smooth white stone buildings with black stone accents and metal trim and bracings. It seems like a type of village that could withstand a siege. With this, Anna Faye brings you to a rather tall building. It's not the tallest here, but it has many floors to it. And as you approach, he turns. It's time you all had your own place of residence here. You each have been staying in various places, some of you with families here, others with mentors, and it is time to have a place to call your own. All teams are given their own, and we'll be taking you to yours. And she steps inside the doors. And on this first floor, you see what looks like a lobby. And there is someone posted at a front counter. And there is a system off to the left, a form of pulley system with magic seeming to be twisting around pulleys as you see ropes going. And some folks step inside of this as two metal doors pull closed, and you see it lift.
Dope.
And she steps in and walks up to the front counter. Checking in Team 10. They will be taking residence. And the person, the gnome behind the counter, flips open a book, grabs a quill, and begins writing it in, and looks over at each one of you. And looking you directly in the eyes for a moment, you feel a presence in your mind.
Please be a window. Please be a
Tear.
window.
You feel a presence in your mind and writes it down and says, Tear wants a window. And begins writing down the next section and looks up and makes eye contact with Ruby. And you again feel a presence sort of probing your mind as it looks down and says, Ruby, leader. And looks back up, making eye contact with Terex. And then back down to the paper. And you feel that same presence in your mind as it goes to write down Terex, Balfour. And it writes down a couple of other things next to your name, writing down your mentor's name, writing down information about your ability. And then it looks up at Hiccup. And Hiccup, you feel this sensation in your mind of just sort of like a fuzziness. And it looks down.
He's got lots of music playing in his head.
Writes down Hiccup. And then, but it says out loud, Hiccup. And then it says something in a twisted language that only you understood, as it mimics what the wolves would call you. And it mimics your given birth name from the pack of wolves out loud as it writes that down. And then it looks finally up to Brutus, and it makes eye contact with you. And you feel a presence in your mind. Roll a Constitution saving throw.
Okie doke. Not very high. That is a 5.
So as this thing goes to probe your mind, you feel a slight pressure in there, and then a sharp spike of like you just looked directly into a very bright light as like a pain kind of washes over your head.
Balls.
And it shakes its head. And it writes, for a moment, it pauses. And it looks at you again, but you do not feel anything as it squints at you.
I'm Brutus Arathia.
And
paper.
it writes down out loud, it says, Brutus, Shadow Dancer Arathia.
Yeah. That works.
And it looks back up to you, and then it looks up once more as Anna Faye leans in and makes a motion. Go on. And it looks her over. Anna Faye, as stated, you are permitted. And she says, all right, this is your entrance. Anytime you enter, you can head on straight in. They will be scanning you as you come in to assure that you are who you appear to be walking in. Just to make sure no one is entering any of the floors, yours included, disguised as you or under control or anything. So, right this way. And they lead you, NFA leads you to one of these mechanical contraptions, and you step inside of a steel box. And as you turn around,
Hiccup immediately feels uncomfortable when they're all inside the metal box.
Not to worry, it'll just be for a moment. And
cramped quarters.
She presses a button and presses number 10. And it lights up, and the doors pull themselves shut as you hear the gears of things moving. And you feel a shake as all of you feel a sort of sinking pit in your stomach as you rise.
Gonna cling to Tear with one hand and the wall with the other. You don't do well in closed, tight spaces.
Bruce
Kind of a big boy.
That,
Excellent.
kind of smile that in the back of her mind.
I'll start whispering into your ears, Hiccup, and say, it's okay. This is like the inside of a tree, like the big tree. It's just a little smaller. It's okay. Once we get to the top, we'll be able to see all the views and all the best things.
Yeah, but this one could drop and we could all die.
Yeah, but we can also fly.
I don't like it here.
Ting, and there's a shake as you come to a stop. And the doors in front of you open up. And as you step forth, you step out into an open room. Ahead of you, you see what looks like a door to a small closet. Immediately to your left is a window, and to your right, recessed in a little bit, is another window looking out the other wall. Up ahead, you can see a kitchen off to your right, and some walling behind that closet that seems to signify there is some type of room over there. Up above all of this, you see some stairs and ramps that lead you up to a second floor. It's only about a few feet up, and you see several different doors up there, a total of 8 doors.
Wow.
And Anna Faye looks to you all and says, "Welcome to your home. This place will serve as your residence here while you are members of the clan of Cauldareen and members of Team 10. There are 6 rooms available for you upstairs. There is always at least 1 spare room available, dependent if you add to your party or ever need to give shelter. You have the space to do so. Your kitchen is there. Your lounging area will be around that corner. And you also have an armory up there where you may store anything you need. And the
There's
large
arms?
no, there are not arms unless you put them in there.
I mean, you could put some arms in there. We could put arms in there.
I don't
thought-
think we should.
Jacob just goes,
Oh, look at that.
That's where we keep our rations.
We
That's
have a
what I
kitchenette. That's nice.
Okay, fair. I just didn't know where Hiccup would get his food. It's okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Back there at the very top is the corner room where you are given a much larger space for all of your meetings if you need to hold, if you need to set up anything. They have a lot of equipment up there for magical review, experimentation, things of the sort. Your standard field testing room.
Right. Okay.
And Ivy's character, Ruby, would be a little familiar with this, as your mother would work and have something much more advanced, but you would understand
I can make do.
much about this. So, you should wind down and rest. You can select your rooms for yourselves, however you see fit. And in the morning, we will go over to the bookkeeper and we will look at getting you set up on your first mission.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Thank
And
you.
she turns and she steps back into the elevator and it descends. And she leaves you all in your new apartment.
Sweet dorms.
I mean,
Nice arms, buddy.
Each room does in fact have its own bathroom. So you're all golden there.
sweet.
And
This is so fancy.
No.
So we each get a room. I thought we were just gonna get like a side of a tree to sleep on.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
like a straw bale or something.
What?
Is that what you're
Yeah.
Just a quick question. How many of you all have just slept in beds on a regular basis?
What's a bed?
Ruby races her
I
hand.
mean, we had cots. So
I've slept in
What's a
beds
cot?
here.
Okay. We're going to go this way. And Ruby walks up to the rooms, kind of like gestures like, come here. The
Yes.
3 of you
Me?
come here.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
I
you-
mean,
Oh,
I
okay.
know what a bed is.
okay, but come here.
He's like, well, I don't. Hang on.
Ruby's desperate. Just,
Someone help me move my
Move your what?
and
My
so
bed.
what I'm going to point out for you here in your room selection, just to be a little tedious about this, is there are,
Love it.
as you come in from the elevator, looking straight ahead of you, you'll see the closet where you can basically it's a coat closet, but it's pretty big. And then the walls that would be for your lounge or your living room sort of situation. And looking straight up, you can see the doors on the upper level to 3 rooms on that side. And then running the other are 5 doors with the armory at the farthest. So at the L next to the 3, then 3 more rooms. Sorry, that's the workshop and such is the big room at the L. Then 3 more rooms, and the armory is to your immediate right when you walk in. It would be right and up the stairs when you walk in the elevator.
Okay.
so that you have an idea of what this looks like.
I'm just gonna go to the closest one, I guess, like directly that I could see.
Okay, so you would probably go to the right, and it's the room
Yeah.
next to the armory. Then that is your first bedroom.
She's going to kind of gesture. Okay, come here. Open the door and walk into the room. This is a bedroom. This is a bed where you will be sleeping.
Have to.
I mean, I want to say no.
Okay, thank you.
He's gonna approach the bed and just kind of test the mattress with one hand, and he just goes, "You can make a really cushiony shield out of this. Not exactly ideal."
Okay, no,
But again,
I do not make a shield for a mattress.
No,
No.
not a shield.
You can use it in a fight against the marshmallow.
I'm gonna go make
Ruby looks
tea in the
deterred.
kitchen or something for everybody. Just like
Yeah.
put on a kettle. I feel like you needed.
Okay.
Eric's just kind of mouth.
All right.
He
we'll
goes just
deal with it
like, "What does
this.
this do?"
So we'll deal with it like this. As Ruby is currently in there, Ruby, what is your goal in this situation?
I would just like to explain what a bed is and then move on.
Okay. And so you're explaining this one particularly to Hiccup, yes?
Hiccup and Terror, I believe. This
Okay.
particular bedroom could be either of those or another. It doesn't matter. This is just a basic rundown of the basic amenities that are in this apartment, like in their bedroom specifically.
Is there a and I ask this again, but is there a window in this room?
There's a window in every room.
Perfect. I will go ahead and take the pillow off the bed and put it on the ground next to the window where like I can face and look out the window if I have like the blinds open,
Mhm.
and I'll lay down on the ground with my head on the pillow and turn back to everybody. Does this work? Can I do this?
Are you comfortable?
Yeah.
Then yes. And she walks out of the room.
Okay. So that room is now Tears.
Great.
Question: if we walk through all of the rooms, like if someone were opening the door, is the decor identical? Like, is this like full on dorm style where they're all just kind of carbon copies of one another?
Every one of them is a carbon copy, and on the bed sits a little box and a note.
Does it have anybody's name on it? On these notes?
If you look at the note, it's addressed to the new owner of the room.
I'll go pick up and open mine.
So as you get up, Tear, and walk over, you pick up the note, and do you read it?
Yes.
As you read the backside of this note, it says, "To your specifications. Open box, grab chalk, and think."
I don't know how to do this. All right. Well, okay. So there's all right. I'll open the box and see if there's any
And
chalk.
you open this small little wooden and brass box. And as you undo the latch and lift it up, there is a small piece of chalk sitting in there. It is perfect. There is no break in it. It is a perfect small piece of chalk. And it has a swirl of color twisted throughout it.
Very pretty. I'd like to keep this, but they said to think. Okay.
And
Okay.
as you think, a thought sort of appears in your mind about what you wanted this room to look like. And what do you see?
I see this room enveloped in darkness, not the darkness of a regular night sky, but the darkness of being in the night sky. And all you see around you is twinkles and lights in the far distance to guide your way and to help you.
And while your eyes are shut and you're thinking about this, who is still in the room or at the doorway?
I believe Hiccup.
Probably Hiccup.
Hiccup, you are watching as first the bit of chalk in Pear's hand starts to glow. and begins to unravel itself as if it is like peeling of a vegetable. It is unraveling itself. And as it unravels, it is disappearing like a fuse has been lit. And those particles start staying in the air, glowing as they scatter around the room. And the room, you're noticing, is getting darker. And it's not a darkness that you're quite familiar with, but it is like the light itself is leaving, and a faint glow is coming off of Tear themselves as their constellations across their body are being seen in this night sky of a room. And the only thing you can make out is the window across, but it's almost like the sunlight pouring in is being stopped by that darkness. And Tear, as you open your eyes, you find yourself in a very familiar night sky of a bedroom. And the chalk is gone.
Hiccup's jaw is like way down. He's just like,
I'll run over
okay.
and start tapping Hiccup on the shoulder. This is home.
This is your home?
Mm-hmm.
Twinkle, it's beautiful.
I wanted to show it to you, and I'm glad I got to.
Ruby, where did you head next?
I just kind of walked out the door. I guess I'll call for Hiccup. Hiccup, we gotta get you a room 2.
It's like, okay. And he goes, I'll come back.
Okay.
He taps you on the shoulder and goes, I'll be right back. And he backs out of the room. He backs his way out of the room, hits his back against the wall, and goes, that's not the door. And he walks out the door.
Ruby's gonna put him in the room directly by Tear. Just,
Okay.
it's not far. It's right here.
Okay.
Just so I know where you are.
And as you open the door, it is that
Cool.
same bare, blank, dormitory-style room with a bed and a desk, and there is a box sitting on the bed with a note that says, to the new owner of this room.
He's gonna pick up the note, squint his eyes at it really hard. Goes, I think I can read this.
And it says the same. To your specifications, open the box, hold the chalk, think.
Okay, don't eat the chalk. Got it. And he picks up the chalk and thinks.
So you open your box, the same wood and brass box. You undo the clasp and you grab that piece of chalk, that perfect piece of chalk with a swirl of color in it. And as you close your eyes to think, what type of room did you envision? Because your mind, regardless of what you thought you're supposed to think about, the moment you shut your eyes, you cannot help but think about your ideal living situation. And what do you envision?
A lot like home. Never consistent, always changing.
And like the land,
Basically like a piece of nature.
like the land of nature itself. Ruby, you are standing there as you've ushered them in, and you see the chalk activate at this point because you had stepped out of the room. You didn't quite see it on the first one. And as they open this and you watch it disintegrate in their hands, you watch that unraveling of it, the peeling of the chalk, and then the disintegration of it. And as these particles float throughout the room, you watch a storm cloud gather above them. And light rain starts to fall in the room, but it doesn't seem to be seeping out of the room. You watch as it runs towards the doorway and then goes no farther than the doorway that you have open. And after a moment, you watch the cloud sort of passes, and the sunlight from outside seems to brighten in here to the point that it's getting actually relatively hot, and you can almost see heat waves coming off of that room. And then another wave as it grows darker and darker and darker, and you see things start to move in there like the wind has picked up, and it eventually settles back to the present room that it was. but you can still see a layer of cloud above, as if it's waiting for a moment to change. And right now it feels cool and temperate like the jungle. And that's when you open your eyes, Hiccup.
He, feeling the sensations from the continuous changing weather before he opened his eyes, puts a smile on his face with his eyes closed. And when he opens, he looks at his empty hands and then just kind of looks around. And then he looks at you, Ruby, and just kind of does like a big open arm shrug.
Interesting choice, I will say.
Just
Because still looking at the
It's-
clouds.
He says, I thought of home.
Interesting. Okay.
And Hiccup has their room. Ruby?
She steps out. I'll let you enjoy. Steps out.
Terex, where are you at this moment? Because I know Brutus went for tea. Where did Terex go?
I probably, after kind of looking through all the rooms, am in the furthest away bedroom from the stairs.
Okay. So the furthest one from the stairs would be the most centrally located one, which is if you came in the elevator doors, there are stairs straight to your right and stairs all the way on the other side of the room but the left wall. So either straight ahead or to your right, you would be in the corner.
Yeah, corner sounds good.
And so you have opened that room, and you also see that piece of chalk. You see that note on the bed with a box.
Look at the note.
And it says, to the new owner of this room.
I stare at the chalk kind of inquisitively. I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do with this.
And as you read it, it says, to your specifications, hold the chalk and think.
I hold it out like at a distance as if it's going to do something. Almost like, not like I think it's going to explode, but you never know with the clan of Cauldareen what shenanigans they're going to put on my bed. This could be hazing. We don't know.
We don't know them.
Today.
We don't know them.
I feel lightly hazed.
Shenanigans in this economy?
But I am going to just kind of think about my ideal room, which I've been thinking I have a lot of details in my head. But first, there's a blackout curtain over the window to keep the light from pouring in. The walls are a deep maroon. It's very much like Victorian fantasy crossed with dark academia. There's a lot of black sconcing and ironwork on the lower half of the walls. There are like skulls and ravens. The wall opposite my bed has a large mirror with white candles that are illuminating, because in all darkness, there's still always a little bit of light. And there's like a beautiful black and gold duvet over like silk sheets. She doesn't care that silk sheets are hot and not breathable. It's for the aesthetic, and she's always cool. Yeah.
And as you think of this, your specifications start to take shape. We watch as a curtain rod erects from the wall, and thick black curtains pour down over the window, blocking out most of the light, but it still allows faint levels to read through so you can keep track of what time of day it is. Then we watch as the metal grows out of the wall and takes shape to give you all of the accents along the baseboards. And then a bookshelf of wrought iron and wood twists itself, with the wood breaking in and out of splinters, then smoothed over by the metal. And books begin to line the shelves, all in different aesthetics. And then candles, waxy and perfect, ascend out of recently appeared candle holders. And these white candles flicker on with black flame with white outline to them, giving off a glow to this room that your, I believe, dark vision, yes?
I got so much dark vision.
Allows you to see perfectly in here. It's almost to the point you might snuff one out just to make it like the best comfortable.
Yeah, just one. That was all that was off.
And your room is set. And a raven paws at you from up atop the bookshelf.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
And we have selected your room. Ruby, you were the one still actively looking at rooms. Brutus is downstairs making tea for everyone and is about to discover what has happened. But Ruby, where are you?
She's gonna call down, kind of shout for Brutus. Did you have an idea of where you wanted your room to be?
There is one more room on the Hiccup and Tear side, and there are two more rooms on Terex's side.
He's gonna relay that as well. Be like, I think, just kind of looking around. I think Terex is over here. The other two are over here.
Oh, it's no bother to me. Take whichever you'd like.
She's gonna take the one on Terex's side, but a room between them.
Okay. So the opposite end at the very close entrance to the stairs.
Yes.
Which is aptly dubbed room number 1. And as you walk in, you see the same paper and box, and on it reads, "To the new owner of this room." On the back, it reads, "To your specifications, hold the chalk and think."
She shrugs a little because she's not quite sure what she wants yet. And then picks it up, closes her eyes, and the walls start being shrouded in a black paint. Red runes all over the sides of them. Candles a little bit everywhere. A couple of torches on the walls just to keep it lit. Very black and red with flames aesthetic.
Excellent. And as you envision this, you see it happen as that paint drips down, covering the walls. And it's an interesting thing, as it's this messy running of paint that makes its way down the walls. But as it comes down to a perfect finish at the floor, none of it runs off. And the red aesthetic begins to adorn everything as runes begin to glow all throughout your room. And the candles light themselves, and your bed it grows to the appropriate dimensions, perfect for you and your comfort level. And you watch as everything in here changes shape. And the torches finally light to add that perfect bit of mood.
Held around for a second. Not bad. Eventually she'll walk back out. Brutus probably calling for her. Did you pick a room yet?
There is a room between Terex and Ruby, and a room next to Hiccup.
No, not yet. Brutus has been downstairs. Just like, is there stuff in the kitchen?
Yeah, so in the kitchen you would find a basic setup of things. There are pots, there are plates, and there is an assortment of things in the fridge. But again, there is a box with a card on it in front of the counter, like on the counter.
There are fridges in this setting?
There is an ice chest here.
Cool. I was just like,
Yeah.
whoa.
And, there is an ice chest here, and there are a couple things in there, but there is a box on the counter with a card on it that reads, "To the users of this kitchen."
Ooh. To the users of this kitchen. What else it say?
And on the back, it says, to your specifications, hold a piece of chalk and think.
Because I have no idea what's happened
Yep.
upstairs, so I will pick up this
Ruby's
piece
got
of chalk.
feeling is walking that direction, but she's not there yet.
What you see before you, Brutus, because yours is a little different. You see that
Okay.
box in front of you, the little wooden and brass box. You open it,
Yeah,
and
I'll
as
open
you
it.
click the little
Heck is
clasp
this?
and you open it, there are 5 little, small, 1-inch pieces of chalk.
Huh. Well, I'll just pick up one, because, like, there's the same amount as the rest of the party. Brutus isn't that bad at math.
Should have said there were 6.
Oh no, wait, maybe she is. But yeah, like, she'll pick up one of these pieces of chalk and be like, what to do?
And suddenly
Why
the idea
are-
runs through your mind, and you shut your eyes and you think of the things you want in the kitchen. And what were you here for? What do you eat? What were you thinking?
Brutus was thinking, like, maybe some calming, like, peppermint tea, and she didn't know she was thinking this until, like, she thought it, but, like, maybe some, like, crusty, like, wheat bread, you know, like a real thick, like, loaf of bread and some good butter, like a rye, maybe, like something hearty and homey.
And
Yeah.
as you shut your
Warm.
eyes,
Yeah.
your piece of chalk disintegrates, and you don't notice this because it's happening as your mind is sort of being locked into this imagery. And as you open your eyes before you, Ruby, you would have maybe looked down and saw this because you came out of your room. Looking down at Brutus, who you were just talking to, you witnessed them do the thing with a piece of chalk. And suddenly in front of them, you see several loaves of bread. You see flour, sacks of flour, and the ingredients to make more appear next to the counter. You watch as several glass vials containing a bunch of bits of what look like leaves from here, or bits of something from a distance, and several different ones fill up in front of Brutus. And you see land on the counter and form in front of them is an entire pig.
Entire what?
An entire pig.
Brutus?
Is it alive?
No.
Is it
It
dead?
is,
Dead pig?
it is an entire unroasted but ready for cooking pig.
Ruby walks down the steps. Brutus, were you hungry?
Well, I found that pig that we killed earlier, I think. That we wanted to eat.
It is not the giant
It's
boar,
here.
but it is in fact a boar.
A small version.
Okay. Great. At least we have food. Kind of looks over to the box of chalk. Ah, that makes sense.
And
need
you
some
do in
fruit.
fact see the tea in front of you that you had thought about making. And all the ingredients in the tea kettle are behind you now, atop
Oh,
a
perfect.
atop a circular disc with a rune on the counter next to it.
Oh, go. I'll start up that tea.
And as you touch the rune, you watch as that circular disc glows red hot.
Put the kettle on, get that going. I got my priorities
Yep.
straight.
Ruby shrugs. If you want to go pick a room, I'll watch your tea.
I think she, like, leans forward, just kind of like tucks the hair behind the blonde hair behind the ear, like looks from side to side. She's like, Ruby, I think this place is magic.
Brutus? I'm going to think you're right.
I knew it.
Good observation. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
Gut Punch RP, thank you for that subscription, and thank you to anyone who subscribed since the last time I mentioned it.
I'm gonna say yes, this is magical. Good observation. I kind of get the feeling you don't know what you were coming into, but that's fine.
Was not, if I'm being perfectly honest. Yeah, bit different setup than where I come from. Rooms then, bunks?
Not quite bunks. You get your own room. There's one over on this side in
Nice.
points, and there's one over on the side by Hiccup.
Thank you for the follow, K-Fax.
Great. Yeah.
You have a
I'll.
preference? You get to choose.
No, flip a coin. If need be.
Ruby shrugs. You're not being assigned a room. You actually get a choice.
It doesn't matter.
I mean, it kind of matters. It's you, whatever you want.
She looks like very help.
Can I poke my head out of the room to notice the discussion?
Roll a perception check.
Me?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, so there's right, because there's the extra.
Mhm.
I keep on forgetting that there's like an extra in case we have another
Perception.
person.
I don't like that, Grim. Perception.
Dicks. I'm probably still busy in my own room.
You're busy in there getting used to it. Your bed has started to change shape to grow over with a little bit of moss in places to make it nice and comfy like you like on the ground.
That's so cool.
I was thinking
So
taking
cool.
the pillow and put it under the bed so that way it can be kind of like a tiny cave for him to sleep in.
I would take out a coin and flip it, but Brutus's background doesn't come with any money.
Brutus, it's not a hard choice. Consider this your first free will choice. What do you want?
Right. I as a player, I'm completely, I have no head for layout, so I don't even remember which rooms are still available.
Yeah, there is one room in between Terex and Ruby, and there is one room at the end next to Hiccup.
She'll take the one between Terex and Ruby because it's a little closer to the door, right?
Yep.
She'd want one that's closer to the door.
Cool.
Come on.
You basically, as you open your door, would have a straight look across the whole facility right at the elevator door.
Cool.
Go ahead. I'll watch your tea.
All right. Yeah, sure. I don't have much to put down. She'll head up there to unload her sword and her cloak and not.
Okay, and you see another box with a note on it that says the similar situation that you saw down there, but this one says to the new resident of this room. Take the chalk to your specifications and think.
Right. Okay, like the thing. I'm gonna close the door behind me and just boom, back up against the door. Just take a fucking second.
Do not make barracks. I swear to God.
Get your freaking shit together, Brutus. Okay. She sort of shakes her head, sets her stuff down on the floor. She's still shaking a little bit from all the stuff that happened. She hasn't been in a real fight in a year, so she's just kind of all right, Chalk, let's do this. She'll go ahead and pick it up.
And as you pick it up and you shut your eyes, what do you envision? Your brain immediately jumps to the question of perfect living situation. Where does your brain go?
Perfect. Log cabin, real rustic, the kind of thing where you can still see the bark on the logs. Nice stone fireplace. Again, super rustic. And that kind of warm where it's not summer warm where it's too warm and sticky, but where it's warm because it's coming from the fire. and it's really satisfying because it's like super cold outside. Stone floor, that like smell of like damp wood and stone, kind of like after it rains or snows. Simple bed, quilt, comfy armchair that's broken in, and a little bookshelf with poetry books, like old ones, and maybe like next to the fireplace, like a tiny, like almost like a mini greenhouse with like these pink flowers that used to grow outside of her hometown in it.
And you watch as you open your eyes and the walls have begun shifting and growing bark along wooden logs that erect from all of the walls. And stone juts out slowly, creating the fireplace as it creates a flue and a chimney up and out somewhere. And you see your bed change from its current shape to your specifications as a quilt reaches over the entirety of it. And the bookshelves assemble out of the wood as well. A flower box takes shape at the windowsill with flowers that you are so familiar with. And then a flower or two grows on the edges of the box that you are not so familiar with. And the books begin to line your bookshelf, a row or two as you had thought. And then every fourth or fifth book on the next row is glimmering in a way that you hadn't anticipated. And looking up at the ceiling, little bits of light almost sort of dancing along the grooves and the crevices. Almost looks like now if you were to pull back one of those logs, you would, like there's something magical almost behind them, calling out from behind the bark.
Ooh.
And you are thinking, this is not what you had thought. But you feel an internal sense of calm coming from deeper within you.
Nice. Oh, also very important, like a nice little firmly, nothing worse than like a shaky hook that's gonna fall out of the wall, like a real nice like wrought iron hook on the wall where she can hang like her cloak and her sword belt, and then like a rest for her sword, so it's not having to just like stick in the floor or hang out under the bed or whatever.
And a wrought iron
Very important.
a piece of wrought iron starts growing out of the wall in a hook fashion, but it takes shape into a magnificent tree, and it separates into several different branches, each still doing what you wanted, but the vision is not exactly what you had in mind.
Oh, getting up in here, Shadow Dancer. That's cool. I don't mind. Still looks great. And I will I'll hang up my claymore and my cloak and my gloves.
And you can hear the kettle as the tea is ready.
Brew this tea.
Right. Okay. You're fine. And I'll stand back up straighter and go back on out to get tea.
Okay. And you said that this tea you were making for the whole party, yes?
Yes.
Do you take it to them? Do you call them to you? How do you go about that?
As I'm heading down, I'll just be like, so how does everyone take their tea? I'll, if you want some peppermint, I find it calms the nerves. If your nerves need calming, I can bring some to you. Just to like kind of each door in general. A variation of that, like some awkward variation of like, hey, tea, you doing okay? I'll bring you some if you want.
Yeah.
It's fine if you don't, though. No pressure.
Cool. Real quick,
Anxiety.
the closest one would have been Terex first.
Cool.
Terex, how did you respond to that?
halfway through her talking, they would have just opened the door. What? And you see the dark, creepy room, the light candle glow flickering, silhouetting behind me.
So dope. Bruce doesn't say that, but she feels that. She's gonna look up because everyone's stalling. Be like, "Hey, would you like some? I made some peppermint, and if so, how do you take it?"
Just a little bit of sugar. I'll come down. I'm settled in here.
Of course.
Next in the line.
And if y'all think I'm not taking notes on how you take the tea, you would be wrong.
Next
Hey.
in line, you got. Next in line, you get to Hiccup's room.
The moment you knock on the door, he's just gonna fling the door wide open, and behind him is like desert shifting to jungle, shifting to tundra going on behind him. It's just environmental chaos.
Brutus is starting to realize she might be the least creative person here.
Just flings the door open, goes, "Oh, hey, snack."
She looks a concern. But she gives her tea spiel about if you would like some.
The moment when
And
you
if so,
mention
how?
tea, the moment you mention tea, he just perks up and just steps out of the room and closes the door behind him. He was like, "Yeah, tea sounds good. You said peppermint?
Yeah, yes. Mhm.
Ooh. I'll have it plain. I'll have it as is. I'm used to just eating the leaves, so having it as a tea is a treat." He says as he makes his way to the kitchen.
And last in line is Tear.
Great.
And my door would have stayed open. So
As you try to peer in, there is a veil of darkness that is sort of coating it, and you can see shifting shapes in there as if Tear is moving around, and you see faint glows of them as they can't quite contain themselves. Their constellations glow in this natural habitat that they feel so comfortable in.
Brutus just is straight up like, this is the most beautiful thing I think I've ever seen.
And Tear, at this point, they can't see, but they are looking directly at you.
It is very pretty, but it's not as pretty as what the potential of people is. I love it.
Have you ever considered writing poetry? Because I think you might be good at it. Also, where are you?
I'm and I'll cast my cantrip of light. I'm right here.
And
Oh,
as the
yes.
idea, you light your hand up and it lights. But as the idea that you want to be seen comes across, the other constellations in the room dim down a little bit, and only yours are now visible, making out the outline of you, not part of the background anymore.
These stars know how to share. My friends don't.
Making tea. So, if you'd like some, I'm doing that. I am.
Wait, do we have sugar cubes?
We probably can.
Okay. I want to try licking my sugar cubes as I'm drinking my tea.
Sugar cubes on the side.
Perfect. I want to see them. Okay. You think, oh my goodness, sugar cubes in the dark are going to be amazing for late night snacks. Yes. I'll try them.
Yeah, that sounds charming.
And you make your way down then towards the kitchen. And as you all gather there, Ivy, you watch as they've all, Ruby sees all of these team members make their way to the kitchen, and Brutus begins pouring the tea.
She steps aside.
Ruby, how do you take yours?
I drink coffee.
I can make some coffee.
No. I'll just take it plain, please. Thank you.
Sure. Right.
And you get this tea and this moment of camaraderie as each one of you has selected your own room, which will become your home. And you have found yourself as you sip your tea, each with its own flavors, each in your own way. And as you enjoy it, you look around and you acknowledge this is your life now. This is Team 10. And that's where we'll take our break.
Oh, yes!
Oh.
We
That was
hit
so
a whole half
delightful.
of just
More-
just room building.
More like T10. Am I right?
Mm.
Not any Team 10.
No, that was like I didn't necessarily expect it to take that long, but I also am not upset. As soon as I realized what was happening with the rest of you, I was like, no, fuck it, let's go home decor. Y'all can have that.
The D&D stands for design.
I think in design, baby.
Dungeons and Designs.
So much good stuff out of your characters in that just now. Oh man, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, we're gonna go on a break here for like 10 minutes to like get just ready to go into the second half. Chat, how are you doing? Thank you for being here, and thanks for all the follows and the subs that come through. Thanks for the gifted subs for those who have done that. If you haven't subbed, please do. It really does help the channel. Oh gosh,
Ooh,
thank you for that 10
thank
gifted subs.
you.
You are phenomenal. Thank you very much for that Get Punch.
Thank
Gut
you.
Punch RP.
Thank
Yeah, everybody hit them back up.
Make
So
sure you guys get some water.
yeah, everyone grab some water on the podcast and off the podcast. Everybody do it.
Tea.
Or tea.
I want tea
Yeah,
right now so
tea.
bad. I want peppermint tea
Yeah.
so bad.
I'm getting more
Really
Yeah.
bad.
I drank peppermint tea before we started, so I find this amusing.
now I just-
Same wavelength. Same wavelength.
Lieber Mac, thanks for the follow. So yeah, we are gonna go on break right now. Everyone, go take a bathroom break, do whatever you need. We're gonna come back in 10 minutes, and we're gonna dive into the second half of episode 2. See you soon, everybody. And we're back with the
Yeah, baby.
Cauldareen Chronicles.
Mhm.
Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome. We are all here strangely craving violence and tortilla chips. Arcan, that is how I feel. And
A vibe.
Arcan, why don't we go
Capture
ahead and why don't
the
we
mood of the moment.
suit your mood? Everyone, you're sleeping, roll initiative.
Oh,
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
okay.
I believed
like-
it.
I'm like,
Keep
haha,
me
but
around
wait,
to
I'm
let's go.
last.
I did too. I was like, okay, let's go.
Like, I guess you're doing this.
I got a 4.
No, your first night in we won't make it like that. So everybody, we're back, and thanks for being here. We're gonna dive right into the second half. So the way these are gonna be structured, if you are new here, this is episode 2 on the Twitch stream. But each episode will be broken into 2 75 to 90-minute podcast episodes so that they're easy to digest. And we're going to drop one a week, which we're going to get them caught up first. And then every Wednesday, we're going to drop an episode so that the morning of our stream, you will get the other episode if you need to refresh yourself. And then we'll be live that night. So you'll be able to get all caught up and do that. Thanks to Brutus recommending me here today, Billy Berger.
Oh, are you the one who I met when I was picking out my dice?
Oh,
Welcome.
hey, if that's who you are, then
If that's who you are, welcome.
welcome in.
I
Billy
can't
Berger.
be in the chat. My phone isn't letting me do it.
Oh,
I'm watching it. So.
Billy Berger says, "Yeah."
Sweet. Thanks for tuning in, man.
I'm glad you can make it. So let's do this. Let's dive in. So after your tea, you all found yourselves quite exhausted from a very exhilarating day, and you retired to your newfound rooms and got your rest. And all players have taken a long rest, regardless of what D&D Beyond says. All players have taken a long rest at this point, and you all wake up at your respective hours or so, and you hear a ding as your elevator door begins to open. And
Jolt awake.
and
We're in our rooms. Just
would anyone, let's say it's 9 a.m. By this point, would any of you be in the common area?
never mind. I'm already very awake.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
I'm probably not in the apartment though. I'm probably like going for a run.
Okay. And so
probably up sitting in the common area.
okay, so if that's the case, then what would have happened is you're out and about, you're kind of getting ready, but you were told that Anna Faye would be back in the morning, so you knew to be back. And as you're coming in, Anna Faye joins you on the elevator, and the two of you, Brutus and Anna Faye, ride it up together. And Anna Faye looks over at you and says, "Enjoying the new place?"
Lovely. It's lovely.
That it is. And the doors open at floor 10, and Anna Faye steps out before you and calls out, "Team 10, assemble."
Us?
Hiccup. Yeah, Hiccup's been sitting on the counter just taking that entire loaf of bread and just going, ha. Because, oh, okay. He hops off the
Ruby.
counter. It just kind of.
That's some chaotic bi energy. Why? But it just is.
Oh,
I mean,
Just sitting on the counter with a whole loaf of bread. Like, I don't know why.
As you do. As
Yes.
you do. As one does.
he eats and walks as he just kind of makes his way over to the group, just nomming on that bread.
Tear comes out of his room. His sugar cubes in the night room again. Heck yeah.
Ter makes his way down. How about Terex and Ruby?
Yeah, Terex was probably just like, cleaning their swords and like shining and doing upkeep in the room. And kind of comes downstairs quietly.
Cool.
Ruby's
And-
sitting on the couch drinking some coffee, and when Anna Faye comes in, puts it down, immediately gets up to greet her.
And as you all assemble, Anna Faye looks around and says, I hope you found your new setting to your liking. It literally can't be built any other way. But it can be an adjustment living with new people. But we work to make sure you have your own space and the things you need, because these people are going to be what keep you alive out there. So, speaking of out there, it's time that you all meet the bookkeeper.
Oh, Brutus, I
Please.
think I might be able to write my poetry finally, I guess.
That's so exciting.
No, not quite.
All of you gather your things. We move out in 10.
Okay.
I will be in the lobby. And she steps out and takes the elevator back down.
I think a bookkeeper is like a dragon who hoards books. Is that right?
Yeah,
Is that what we're
so.
talking? Are we gonna meet a dragon?
No, not at all.
I hope we do.
No,
I think we are.
We're not.
that's no.
And-
Terex just walks up to their room.
Ruby follows and goes to hers. Just,
And you all gather your gear.
Yes.
Okay.
He finishes his loaf of bread. he's already geared up. He's always geared up. But yeah, he's like, okay, and he just hops back on the counter for the remainder of the 10 minutes and just finishes that loaf of bread and maybe some random meat. Just eating.
Ruby, when she comes out of her room in her gear, make sure you wipe the crumbs off.
Oh,
You
Off
are
of what?
team leader.
You.
me?
And there's
But what if I
crumbs
need
all
little
over your
snack-
shirt.
Covered in crumbs. But what if I need snacks for later?
Please clean yourself up. Thank you.
I guess.
Thank you.
So after he like scarfs down that last rub, he just flicks his crumbs and the crumbs just go all over the floor.
And after about 10 minutes, you all make your way downstairs where Anna Faye is waiting. And she looks to you all. On we go. And you walk towards the door, and everyone make a perception check.
Let's see if I get higher than a 6.
Good die here. Good die. Liking it. Natural 20.
Hey,
Into it.
16.
also 16.
15. Amateurs.
Unnatural 20.
15.
So all of you, without any issue, get off the elevator, and as you look out, you see the lobby. There's another team crossing past, and they're on their way to the other side of the building. And you see, as you're heading towards the exit, the host at the front lobby with the book that took your names is staring and monitoring each of you on the way out. And
I give a polite nod.
you see them staring longest at Brutus.
I give a polite but concerned nod.
I think about flipping them off.
It's the same thing for them.
I want to see if they notice or if they break.
I want to see.
And they do not take their mind or their eyes off of Brutus until you leave the building. And
I mean, she's so pretty.
Ah. That's Brutus's brain. It's not out loud. She looks straight ahead. Yeah.
And
File that information in the back of her head.
Anna Faye looks back at the rest of you as you're walking with her, and she says, "Now, this will be how you get your missions, and this will also be how we handle all of your reports. It's through the bookkeeper, and get very familiar. It's best to keep them in your good graces. And you find your way across to the opposite side, passing the training field, passing the main hall where Kagor's office and the heads of Cauldareen work and station themselves. And you find yourself to a small building on the edge of the village. And outside of it are 2 guards. And you walk right past them. And they give a glance to Anafe. And then they look back forward. And they continue their walking in a perimeter around the building. And as you approach, there is a door in front of you. It is a nice wooden door with metal accents, much like what you saw around the place, but it is a bit darker. It looks as if there is not much of a gap anywhere around it. It's almost like a perfect sort of snug fit to the door frame. And she turns the knob and opens it up. And in front of you is sort of a veil of, it almost looks like you're looking into Tear's room. There's sort of a veil of shadow or a veil of darkness that it looks like the sunlight from outside is not pouring in as much in here. And she steps in, and as she does, see that she kind of becomes it's like she just walked into just a mist of shadow, and she steps into the building. And as the rest of you, do you all step in, or I guess how do you react to that? Anyone?
Oh yeah, Ruby steps in fairly quickly.
Okay.
That's very nice. Step on in.
Yeah, I'll step in. Things could get weirder. I'm getting used to weird.
Eric smirks and takes a step in.
And Hiccup?
Waits for everybody else to go in first and then walks in.
And as you all step in, it does get a little darker in here. There are windows all throughout this room. You can see you are in an office that ahead of you is a counter, and behind it there is someone with several scrolls inside of cubbies behind them. There is a board off to the right with a bunch of tally marks and several, at least 100 different names on it and things written next to them. And there is a circular metal stairwell that goes down. And down below, you can see the glimpses of some light coming from down there. And a Eladrin elf, an Eladrin, looks up at you and says, "Yes." And Anafe introduces you all. Mac, this is Team 10. They are going to be working as a unit now and need to be added to the roster. I am quite aware they are already on the board. And if you were to look along a list of names, in the end, you see the ones without actual names that are just titled teams 1, 2, 3, and down at the bottom, you can now see an addition of Team 10. And there is nothing else written beside it. Mac here runs everything. Mac keeps track of not only all the mission information that comes in that our scouts out there send us. Mac has all the leads, keeps track of where all teams are presently at, and he and his team track how much you have in the coffers as well. Anything you bring back, anything of the sort, they will keep account of what money you are owed and what sort of things that you have in your possession. That way, if anything is to ever come up missing or anything strange enters, we simply have to check with Mac, and we will know whether or not that item should be in your possession. Mac is the bookkeeper of practically everything here.
Okay. Wow. Sarah, an honor. Brutus will do her little, the salute.
Mm-hmm. And Mac, looking at you, makes the symbol back and in a slow fashion nods back. I suppose you'll be wanting to find them work? Yes, I believe they're ready for that, Mac. We're here to get them all situated. And Mac turns around and scans over several cubbies and finds one with several little scrolls in it, and pulls one out and reads the insignia on the outside and puts it back in. Grabs another and slides it back in. Grabs a third from that cubby and says, this one ought to do. And turns around and breaks the wax seal on it and unfurls this document. We oftentimes work off of mere slivers of information. People doing things that the clan of Cauldareen would deem appropriate to intervene, very rarely do so in a flashy manner. It is often bits and clues that your team must unravel. We work off of coincidences and hearsay, for in this world there is very rarely something that is not a mystery. And Mac unfolds this scroll flat on the table, and they hold it out, reading over it to refresh themselves on this particular one. Now, this should be to your team's level, as you are not yet ranked. Currently, you are only permitted base job. In the future, based on your ranking and success, you will be permitted to participate in more challenging endeavors. And hands it over to Anna Faye. And Anna Faye looks it over. Good choice. And hands it off to Ruby.
Going to take it.
And as you take this, you look at it, and on the outside of the scroll was a wax seal. And as you look at it, there is a symbol that looks like the two crescent moons of Cauldareen in the wax. And inscribed along the top half that wasn't broken, you see a single word, Jarvis. And as you open it up, inside of it, you find status report. City of Nox. A mid-central point in Land of Light, between 6 cities. Each city, days from Nox. Several strange disappearances around city. 4 groups in last month killed by bandits requesting assistance. It seems that there is some form of trouble in the city of Nox. Perhaps just some raiders, but we take note of everything. Please handle this with care. And Anna Faye looks back to the group and says, we have your first mission. We'll get you set up with a teleportation ring and get you situated to get to your location. I assume, and she turns back to Mac and says, I assume that they have set up a rendezvous. And Mac replies, Jarvis is always on top of it. I expect they've been ready since the letter was sent. Understood. And at the bottom of the scroll, you can see an insignia in a circle at the bottom. And Anna Faye points to that and says, you'll need that to get where you're going. Come along.
She furls it, puts it in her bag.
And you all step out of the office and back out into the sunlight. It's a little bright when you first step out, as they keep it darker in there. And you feel the adjustment as she steps out and says, all right, we can go get you situated with a circle to teleport you to where you're going. From here on out, things get real. No more training and no more coddling. You will be heading out into the real world. Are you prepared?
Yeah. Yes.
Anna Faye,
Yes.
you know I've wanted this my whole life. Of course I'm prepared.
Careful what you ask for. And she leads you across towards the outskirts of the village and heads now past all of the buildings, heading into a section of the woods. And you all travel about 5 minutes walk into the woods until you reach a clearing. And from this point up ahead of you, you see an archer standing, facing in towards the clearing. You are approaching from behind, and his ears perk and says, who are the new ones, Anna Faye? Fenris, these are Team 10. We'll be setting them up with their first transportation system and a gigantic were-tiger turns around to look at you. Welcome. See to it that you are sorted.
Okay.
And do not forget your password.
Yes.
And Fenris turns back to face forward. And you are walked across this open field. And ahead of you, you see a very interesting setup. There is a small pond of water to the right. To the left of that, there is a large bonfire burning. It's very tall. It is a pyre that seems to just continually be burning. And it is about 9 feet tall. To the left of that is a tall slab of stone. It looks almost like you're looking at like Stonehenge. It's a solid thing of stone in an oddly precarious setting, with a second one behind it and one across the top. And to the left of that is a large, twisted and knotted tree. And it has interesting inscriptions carved all around it. Behind those four, you see on the ground a cleared out circular area and a bunch of inscriptions on the ground written in a circle. Today, we'll be setting you up with your very first teleportation system. Each one of you over time will be set up with your own form. All members of Cauldareen utilize these. And she makes a motion, and someone from out of nowhere descends from one of the trees. We'll be setting them up today. Now, moving forward, who is the leader of this team currently?
Gesture to Ruby.
I guess that'd be me.
All right, keeping your order and form from the training. I can appreciate that. Ruby, out of the 4 elements, tree for a plant, stone, fire, or water, which of the 4 would you like to use as your signature teleportation means?
Kind of look to the rest of the party. Personally, I would say fire, but I feel the tree would be more fitting in a situation.
I like it.
We can always find our roots here.
Hiccup has a warm smile on his face all of a sudden from hearing Tare mention that.
Understood. And the one that had peered out of nowhere opens up a small box with 4 rings. And she reaches down and she grabs a green one and holds it out and says, "Put this on." And as you place it on, there is a quick shock in your hand and a tattoo of sorts, or just sort of, you see an image run up your hand and up your arm and twist into your arm. It just vanishes. And then she says, "I'll have that back now."
Here you go.
And she places the ring back with the holder, who puts it away. And she seals the box and vanishes again. And Anafe says, "All right. You now have the ability to cast teleport utilizing any tree suitable of size to allow you to return here. It is specifically inscribed for this particular tree. Now, we need to give you a password before you leave. Turn and stand in front of the tree, Ivy. Ruby.
We should have picked fire.
She thought about it, but then she was like, well, for those of my teammates who utilize trees, I'll be fair.
Turn and stand in front of the tree, Ruby.
She does so.
Now, take 5 paces forward and then make 10 steps worth of motion in your own design. Whatever it be, do not forget it. So, 5 steps forward and then 10 steps in however you see fit, any direction, repeating directions, moving backwards. They don't have to be all in one direction.
Right. Okay. Takes her 5 steps forward. Then starts her 10 steps. Do you want to describe the steps that she takes?
Exactly.
Perfect. Okay. Let me get a pen and paper. That way I can make sure to not screw this up next time.
I love it.
Boop.
Got that Konami code, right?
Up, down, left, right, X, circle.
Okay. Perfect.
Up, down, left, right. The A start.
Yeah, right. That's my first thought too. So she takes her 10 steps forward, takes 3 steps to the right.
It's 5 steps forward.
Oh, sorry, 5 steps. Sorry, that's what I meant. She takes 3 steps to the right, 1 back, 3 steps to the back the way she came back to the left, 2 steps back, and then 1 forward.
All right, 3 to the right, 1 back, 3 left, 2 back, and 1 forward.
Up this
Now-
time.
Now ending exactly 3 steps from the tree. Now, please step back to the tree. And she holds up a hand and motions a signal. Close your eyes. Remember that as if your life depends on it. Now open them and repeat the process. Do not react to anything until you have completed your step count. And
She opens her eyes, takes 3 steps to the right, 1 step back.
And as you take that step back, an arrow whizzes past. Had you stepped forward, it would have struck you.
Oh. She composes herself, takes that as she's taking that step back, takes those 3 steps back to the left, takes those 2 steps back.
Had you taken 1 step, an arrow whizzes in front of your face.
And completes it with her step forward.
And as you take 1 more step forward, 3 arrows strike the ground where you were just standing.
She holds a steady face.
If anyone were to ever enter using your passcode, or to look like you, but did not know your step count, they would die where they stand.
Understood.
Teach your team your password, and over time they will all have their own. So, this is your code when returning. Now, for the easy part, we'll get you to where you're going. And I reiterate, do not forget that on your return. Now,
What a dream of it.
take your symbol there at the bottom. Your contact is Jarvis. We have many contacts scouting throughout the lands, reporting back to Cauldareen any information that they come across. Jarvis reported this one, so they will be your contact in the city of Nox. They have set up a rendezvous point somewhere, and when you inscribe this at the base of the tree and then teleport, you will teleport to their designated rendezvous point. Are you ready?
I'm ready, team.
Oh,
She
could we
looks
go over the code one more time?
And you can relay the code to them and make sure that they get it. Which, if you need the actual code, you step forward 5 steps always, regardless of what your code is. Then 3 steps to the right, 1 step backwards, 3 steps to the left, 2 steps backwards, then 1 step forward.
Gotcha.
Writing this down straight up looks like I'm writing down a cheat code.
I know,
Right.
I wrote it down with little arrows, and I was like, anybody
Me too. Little arrows and numbers over them. That's exactly what I did too.
It's like a dance thing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Let's get some
All right.
ER up in here.
Now, have you got the sigil ready?
She's taking it. Ready.
You may, and there is something in front of the tree there for you to take another piece of chalk, and basically there is a bare section on the tree that is just smoothed down to be a flat surface, and it's just a little circle that looks like it matches the outside of your sigil, and you need to fill in the middle.
Just with the chalk.
Yep.
Okay, she does so. She picks up the chalk, fills it in real quick.
And
Taking enough time to make it look decent, but like
yeah.
not like a huge amount of time on it.
As you do, you see it glow. And she says, place your hand on it, and you'll be ready.
She looks
And-
at her team. Ready?
Ready.
He nods.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hand on the sigil.
You place your hand on the sigil, and the glow resonates throughout the tree, and you hear snapping and cracking as it starts to open up the heart of the tree, and it separates slowly, looking like there is a doorway, a hallway through it, but it does not lead out the other side. You can't see where it leads. It's just light. And Anafe looks at you and nods.
Ruby steps through.
And as you do, you vanish from your team's sight. Posture check, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, I guess.
That was like fair.
Do the rest of you follow?
I'll
go in last.
Okay.
Is this a test this time?
Also got hit with a hydrate check.
Thank you.
And as Terex, the final member, goes to step through, Anafe says, "Good luck. See you when you get back." And that's the last thing you hear as you step through. And Terex, you cross through and are now standing in a field. And there is this giant tree behind you. Looks very old. And your team is standing around you. And there's a field of flowers all around you. And you take in that there is not much else here, but a small cottage up ahead. And you have all made it. You are all at your rendezvous point.
Brutus is gonna just like look around and ask, so has anyone actually been to the land of light before?
Nope.
And do we have a map?
I have more familiar with the underground, but I've been above ground for a while.
Oh, you must be a new team. As a voice speaks to you from up above in the tree.
Oh,
Jeez,
Look
why
up.
is everyone tall?
I'm gonna say that you're who we're looking for.
And suddenly, someone drops down from the tree and lands directly in front of you.
Superhero landing.
And as they land,
So bad for your knees.
you hear some tss, and they rise back up to full height with a zzz. I assume you are who they have sent for me. And before you stands a warforged with a bow across their body, a cloth tunic, and you see silver with bronze exterior plating everywhere. And who might you be?
Team 10. I'm going to assume you're
That's
Jarvis.
us.
I am indeed Jarvis. It is a pleasure to meet you all. Team 10. One of my favorite numbers.
Why?
I love him.
Because
I would die for him.
I hear people like to rate things with a 10 when they really enjoy them. So 10 is an enjoyable number, is it not?
That is a good reason.
So we're 10 out of 10?
Well, currently you are 5 out of 10.
fair enough.
True.
That's good math.
We'll get 5 new people.
Okay, to get back on
That's
track
some
here.
great math right there.
Jarvis, We're here for a reason, correct?
Yes, you are here due to the anomaly,
Oh no. Okay. Yeah.
and I requested assistance in this situation, as I believe there is something wrong here.
Okay. Sleeves up, folks.
I don't have sleeves.
Please don't roll.
It's an expression. It's just.
It was an expression, but your face did not change.
I have to work on that. It's just my face.
I too am working on that.
Oh dear lord.
Oh. First person Brutus has met that she identifies with, and it's a robot.
Now, shall we get going?
Please.
Our destination is the city of Knox, and I believe it best to go over my findings there.
Indeed.
Moved on.
Are there any present dangers we need to be aware of as we're traveling?
There's always danger.
There
Local
is-
monsters.
Always animals on path. There is the danger of starvation. There are several dangers that could be present, but none that seem to be presently affecting this party.
Great.
This next time, I will be a little more specific.
I thought it
Yeah.
was specific enough.
Glad you did, Jarvis.
Now,
All right.
let us depart. And Jarvis turns, and it is a few hours trek to the city of Knox. I did not find it appropriate to teleport you inside of the city, as that may draw suspicion.
Yeah, I could see how that wouldn't. Small town, is it, Knox?
Depending on where you've been, it could be quite small or quite large.
Jarvis, what's the population?
Several
Thanks.
thousand.
Right. Little bigger, little bigger. Small enough, though, that people might not take too well to just random teleportations.
Do you know of a city that random teleportations is agreeable?
Maybe not, but at least in a big city, weird stuff happens more.
Oh, I should try and get stationed near a big city. I may find more anomalies.
Yes. If we find any cities that are agreeable to random transportation, let me know.
Maybe
Appreciate it.
some magic cities or something.
In the land of Arcana, most every city is magic.
Yes.
Those
Maybe
ones.
next time we can go to the land of Arcana.
Maybe we
Hopefully.
should focus on this first.
Good point.
Probably just go where we're assigned.
Too. Thank you, Dirks.
Then onward to the city of Knox. Follow me.
It's a hard no, but
And
Or us.
Jarvis begins the journey towards the city, and it will be a 2 or 3 hour trek depending on how your party handles it. And you get there you were picked up at 9 in the morning to go and meet the bookkeeper, and crossing the village, talking, learning all you did there took a little while. Then you went and you got set up, and then finally by 10:30 or so, you got sent on your way. You are walking into the afternoon, and as you begin approaching, now, at this point, I should probably make sure I know what to call you. I assume Team 10 is not your individual names.
oh,
It's
good
not.
point.
We're just all named 10.
Yeah.
Why? You should ask.
It would not be the strangest thing I've ever heard.
I'm Tear, though. I'm not 10. I'm sorry.
Tear, not 10.
Ruby.
Ruby.
Brutus.
Brutus.
Hiccup's been staring at Jarvis throughout most of the trek. He's never seen anybody like Jarvis before, so he's just more mind boggled of how do you work? What do you eat? Kind of thing. I can't eat that. Like,
You cannot. Don't eat Jarvis.
he never said that out loud, but he's just been observing from a distance, not sure how to process Jarvis.
Ruby's gonna look at
It's
Hiccup.
not Brutus saying it, it's Myri saying it.
I'm
Oh,
Don't need him.
Terex.
Tear.
Kind of elbow. Hiccup.
what?
Name.
Oh,
Say-
my
say your
name?
Introduce yourself
Oh,
to the Warforged.
hi, I'm Hiccup.
Hiccup.
Yes.
Tear. Brutus. Ruby. Eric's. Hiccup. Excellent. I am Jarvis.
Hi, Jarvis.
But you already knew that.
Yeah.
Let us.
An honor.
As we approach the city, keep in mind that customs will like to know your names and your business inside the city. A good answer would be entertainment or simply passing through.
I like the I like the passing through over the entertainment.
Same.
I think
Please. Yes, that.
I was gonna make a light show, but okay. I'll say-
Where
You can be here for entertainment.
that is just fine.
Okay.
Recite some of your poetry.
Oh my
That doesn't exist yet.
Yes.
I was gonna
Oh,
ask you have
good.
poetry and you didn't tell me?
No.
I'm sorry. What was that? What was that, Terex?
I think this is one of those cases where perhaps being more simple is going to be better for us in the long run. Although I'm sure your poetry is amazing.
You know,
I don't
how
know.
about you read us some poetry when we get back after this mission?
Okay, I'll have to write it then.
Okay, great.
Okay.
We'll make sure you have.
All
Can
right.
you write? Actually,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Better than me.
Are you certain?
can you
No.
write in common?
Maybe.
Like
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I haven't worked on it a lot, but I think so, yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. All right.
Terex just starts walking forward.
Right. Okay.
excellent. Let us proceed. And as you come out from behind the clearing, as if they had timed that to ask you a moment before the city came into view, you clear out of that, and off the path you now see the city of Nox. 100 feet tall walls, like a fortress, circle around this facility, this city here. And there is a gate that this path is leading to that you can see several guards posted at, and a draw gate, a spiked wood and metal gate in front. That is our point of entry. There
Sure.
are several around this city, 6 to be exact.
Jarvis, have you already been inside the city?
I have indeed for about 6 weeks now.
Great, thank you.
Now, I did ensure when I left through a different gate than I intended to bring you through.
Why?
Make sure.
Statistically, there are fewer chances of anyone questioning my return with a larger party.
You're very
Makes sense.
smart.
Now, allow us you head on.
Okay.
And you approach, and as you get closer, like I said, you see this magnificent city ahead of you, and this is not the capital city of the Land of Light, but it looks pretty intense from the outside. And as you approach, you see several people in line ahead of you that have stopped up, and they're being checked as they enter the city and being asked a few questions and then let in. And eventually, your group gets up and they walk up and say, "What? Hey, welcome to the Land of Light. If you're not from around here, welcome into Knox. Well, you're not in yet, but soon to be. Who are you?"
Oh, thanks so much. Just a group of friends passing through
Ah,
on a like a road trip, like walking on a road.
why are you coming through the city and not taking the more dangerous and potentially deadly areas around the outskirts that could get you killed or robbed or anything of the sort? Why are you coming
because
through
why
the
not?
safe city?
We want to take a
Because we
break.
don't
Why
want to
not?
die.
Didn't feel like getting
I'm
murdered this
just
week.
messing with you. That's why everybody comes through. Oh, you guys are great.
Oh,
And
you're great.
your names?
I'm
I'm
terrible.
Amelia.
Thea.
I'm Ivy.
I'm Tear.
I'm Hiccup.
That's fine.
And Jarvis looks over and goes, "Thea, Amelia, Ivy, Tear, Hiccup," and looks back and says, "I am Ruby." And the man at at the top goes, "All right, a lot of names, but excellent, love it. I hope you guys enjoy your stay here in the city of Knox, and you're not bringing in any strange vegetation or animals of the sort."
Of
No.
course not.
All right, for land built on agriculture, we do got to keep those things under control.
Oh shoot! Actually, no. Brutus does have little flowers tucked into her
Damn
cloak
it,
pin,
Brutus.
so
I did
she
not
actually
demand.
she will like pull out her flowers and like hand them over.
And he'll inspect it and go, "Ah, that right there will be A-okay.
And put
Ah,
them back in.
land of order, huh?
Yeah. Yes.
Ah, those are native there. Now, we do grow them around the lands, but I know where those come from."
Yeah. Remind me of home.
I love that. Well, please enjoy your stay. Next. And Jarvis walks past with the group of you as you are ushered forward into the city of Knox. And you walk under the gate and you enter that little bit of darkness that happens as there is when you transition into that dark moment into the bright sunlight. And there is a bustling city ahead of you. Carts push out of the way quickly in front of you. "Hey, watch it!" And somebody on a horse gallops by as this lively city right beyond the gates is in full swing in its afternoon. Now, ahead of you, you see kids playing and running. Somebody grabs something and someone says, "Hey, get back here, you little thief!" and chases after someone. And people are walking by you. You're shoved with a shoulder check, each one of you having to evade someone. Everyone make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh, wowza!
Oh boy.
Brutus is just like, this is not small. This is, I don't know if you're still there, Billy, but this is the best die that I have purchased from your bookstore. Because I just rolled another nat 20.
21.
Oh my god.
Plus 3.
Okay.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Amelia.
Same.
Okay. And Moose with
12.
12. All right, and so Tear, as everyone else walks in, you experience a good solid bump from someone walking by, and they go, and it's a big Goliath who pushes you out of the way. Hey, watch it. And he keeps hauling his cart of vegetables past you, and you get pushed to the ground as they walk by. And Jarvis runs over. You'll have to excuse them. They are rude. And lift you up from the ground.
That you have to tear up.
Can I get that on a t-shirt? Please excuse me, I'm rude.
Yes,
Cauldareen
I want that
Chronicles.
shirt.
I should get us to the lodging I have secured for you here. I am unsure how long you'll be staying, so I have rented a room for you indefinitely.
Thank you.
Allow us to head towards the Silver Spoon Saloon.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's for fancy people.
It is, in fact, not.
Good.
I enjoyed the name and decided to purchase your room there. After a bit of research, it seems the owner sold all of her family's heirlooms, even down to their silver spoon, in order to open the Silver Spoon Saloon.
Oh, the
And
irony.
in returns, after a very prosperous run here in this city, utilized her profits to eventually buy back the items she had sold, and they now proudly sit on display in the front of her restaurant.
So good for her.
Love a hardworking
What a good
woman.
story.
So let us proceed to the Silver Spoon Saloon.
Right.
And you push your way through the bustling city of Knox as cart vendors and everyone is in full swing. People throwing things out of windows as someone's yelling at someone breaking up with them. And you see people laughing and cheering in the street at this ridiculous sight that's happening. You see kids playing with wooden swords, trying maneuvers back and forth. Brutus, you can tell their form is not great.
I seriously like lag behind for a moment
Jimmy runs
as I like
back
crouch
through the-
down,
No, no,
and
no.
I just like I'm like, hey, you know, if you're gonna do a hanging parry, the purpose is to protect your head. If you put it in the wrong position, that just drives your sword into your head. Also, you know, reverse grip is only for blocking like projectiles and.
back. Come on.
And
Grab her by the arm of throat.
the little kid you see,
Keep practicing.
the little human boy holds the wooden sword above his head and jumps off the curb as he yells, "Hanging parry! Hanging parry!"
Oh my god. Come on.
As you get farther into the city. And as you're being led, there is a crowd of people that are cheering and they're, oh my god, it's them. Oh my god, I love your stuff.
Who is it?
I am unsure. We can look, I suppose. We do
I'm
have,
too short. I can't see.
and
Hiccup's
Jarvis,
gonna offer to help you up.
Hiccup. You tell
Yeah.
me to speak?
The
It
first
just
moment
kinda-
of
He's
No,
like,
I-
"Oh,
okay,
do you
yeah.
want- Do you want me to lift you up, or do you want me to climb up?"
Brutus doesn't have that much pride. She's like, lift me up for like 2 seconds. I just want to see.
Okay, yeet.
and roll a perception check, Brutus.
Okay. I'm so good at that. Oh, that actually wasn't a terrible roll. My modifier won't load, but it's a 14, I think. I don't think I have anything added to that. Yeah, just 14.
Okay, so with a 14, you see a group of people around, 3 individuals in matching outfits, and the woman in the front is signing something and says, "Mwah, there you are. Always nice to meet a fan." And someone yells, oh, would you do the thing? And they all say, "Oh, all right." And they sing in harmony. You see 2 women and 1 male sing in a harmonic code. for a moment, and their voices resonate, and then they strike a pose. Thank you, everybody. We're the Bandettes. You get it? Burnettes in a band? We're so good. And they start writing down all of the signatures on things, and each one is signing something, and they're all Burnettes signing things for people. And
I got it.
and the crowd just kind of keeps mobbing around them.
For
Eris
this,
is disgusted.
As
You can put me down though. Thank you.
well,
Oh, okay. And he just gently plops you down.
and
It's like-
Jarvis says, "May we continue?"
Yeah.
Excellent.
anything important?
Amazing.
So musical
don't
snacks is what I'm
Think
getting at.
So.
Okay.
And Jarvis continues forward,
Well,
leading through the rest of the city. And as you are almost at your location, a carriage cuts directly in front, as if it almost hit Jarvis, but Jarvis stopped mid-step and kept their foot out, but did not complete their step as a carriage rolled on by. And someone yells, "Out of the way!" And
No.
rustles by. What you can clearly see is some form of nobility passing.
ugh.
Jarvis, are you okay?
I didn't step forward so that I would remain okay. So, because I took action, yes.
Smart. Love it.
And there is our destination.
The Silver Spoons Saloon?
And in front of you, you see the Silver Spoon Saloon.
Oh.
And there is a sign, a beautiful looking sign for a well put together tavern. And there are saloon doors on the front. And Jarvis steps up and pushes one door open and holds it for you. You may enter now.
Okay,
Okay.
here we go then.
And as you all make your way in, you step inside the Silver Spoon Saloon, and Jarvis steps right in, right behind you. We will grab our own table over there, and motions to a booth in the corner that seems to be available, and heads in that direction.
I would like to.
Pick up.
Oh, I would like to kind of read the room a little bit, make sure there's no suspicious fish in this tavern.
Yeah, give me a perception check.
Also,
Eh.
that's just called Us. I don't know what you're talking about.
I was about to say,
We are suspicious fish. Okay.
we
so
are the sus.
we are sus. Okay, perception.
Y'all are sus. I'm
that's
just a
a-
human in a raggedy cloak.
That is a 7. My perception is on fire today.
So, Hiccup, as you look around the room, looking to, in your mind, look around and take in anything important, you take in that there is delicious smelling food. And you begin looking at each person's plate, but not them. And
Oh
you
my
take in what they've ordered and all the options that you could get here.
I mean, in fairness, we've been hiking for a few hours, so
Yeah.
food sounds good. Food sounds good.
And this isn't to ever punish anyone. I think we're going to try and make all of your checks that go negatively. They want to be realistic. Is like, why were you distracted? Why did you not see the knife? You know?
Ruby was
A
also
knife.
around, and she's like,
Could I get a read as well?
Yeah, everybody can make a read. Sure. Perception, please.
Please do better than me.
I'm just walking straight to the table.
oh, that's not bad.
It's a 16.
I also got a 16. 15 plus 1.
14 plus 2.
5.
Brutus, thinking that this Silver Spoon Saloon, perhaps the idea of it being a fancy place didn't quite get out of your head. And as you stepped in, right when you walked in, there was the silverware that was referenced in the story on display in a glass case. And the little story card is next to it. And you are reading that instead of the room. And you're just observing kind of like exactly what was said. And while you're doing that, Eric's and Ruby look around the room. And on your way over to the table, you note that this is a mild-mannered looking place. There is some life to it as well. People are having fun, but it's mid-afternoon. It's that 4 o'clock time right now. And there's not quite the dinner rush hitting. It looks like they're prepping for that. And there's just a few people in here, and you don't have any like bad vibes about the room. It's the people who are like, maybe they worked a lunch shift or something elsewhere, and they are now coming to get their lunch because it's that dead hour. And that's all you see. You see a couple of people upstairs on their way to their rooms. And that's it. Okay. And you all finally make your way to the table. Tare, you were first up there with Jarvis, and Jarvis sits down and slides all the way to the center of this circular booth they've got here, and is sitting in the middle. And please take your seats.
Thank you.
And as all of you center up and sit down, someone approaches your table. Well, welcome into the Silver Spoon. How are y'all? Oh, my little friend is back. How are you doing there? I am doing quite fine. Thank you, Cree. Oh, one of those days? Oh, I am sorry. I forgot. How are you doing today, Cree? Doing all right. And Cree responds, well, it's always great to have more customers in, and it's a pleasure to have you here at the Silver Spoon. If you're a friend of Jarvis's here, you're a friend of mine. And I'm Cree Valentina, the owner of the Silver Spoon Saloon. I'm sure you read the story when you came in, so no reason to hash that over again. It just kind of helps draw a crowd in. They love a good story. Now, I'll get your orders taken and get you situated. And she looks back and winks at Jarvis and heads off after taking your order. And
After she left, Hiccup looks to Herix, goes, is that normal for people to have weird twitches? I see people do that a lot.
It's usually is a way of saying there's subtext to the conversation they did not verbalize. Sometimes like a secret they're trying to get you to pick up on. Sometimes it's flirty. I'm not 100% sure what's going on here, to be honest.
Ruby's gonna look to Jarvis. You didn't tell me that you were such a Casanova, Jarvis.
Oh, well, it depends on the day.
You know,
Jarvis.
All right, Jarvis.
It depends
Jarvis!
it depends how I am identifying that day.
That's fair.
Hell yeah.
Fair enough.
I love it.
Now, may I go over your information?
Please.
In the
Yes.
letter you would have gotten, I had mentioned that there were indeed some oddities. Well, this is your first mission, so I shall fill you in on the details. Now, when a scout like myself sends in a report, we have oftentimes gotten information gathered that something, but not always confirmed, is afoot. In my instance, I have been here for about 6 weeks. Most scouts take up residence somewhere for up to 3 months to blend in and observe from afar, looking for anything. I am assigned the land of light and move from city to city every few months. Here, there have been some interesting things. The city of Nox sits itself within the center of 6 different smaller cities, and they all lead in different directions, all leading to various points of the country. And I have noted that 4 separate instances, people have been killed on the way to another city. Now, typically, it would not register as a phenomenon or a problem, but it seems that they all died from wounds, yet no attempts at self-defense were ever reported. And also, they all fit a similar MO.
And that is.
Well, each one of them had passed through the city of Nox first. None of the current dead were on their way to Nox. They were leaving it. And each one was a surefire bet. By that, I mean none of them were poor, all of which indeed had something of note on them, or some form of wealth, or some name to their family, even if their carriage or party did not openly display that. And that is what I noticed in the last murder. While they did not openly show who they were still of lower nobility and did have a small guard present.
The guards die too.
There have been no survivors.
That's very scary.
Were they all on the way to different cities?
Each one was, like I said, in a different situation, leaving to a different place through a different gate, but the things I placed were they all died in similar manners and were of the same social status.
Similar manners, as in by way of creature or people.
They all suffered from sword wounds.
How many wounds?
Each suffered from a single fatal stab. There were no defensive marks found on anyone, and they all had a single kill strike to all members, whether they were guard or nobility.
You'd have to be too fast. People are not as easy to kill as it seems like we should be, all squishy. Like, there's a lot of places you can be stabbed and not die.
Oh,
So you're implying someone's very skilled.
Yeah, precise.
Or could they just not be seen?
But they could be very charming.
That's true.
Or that.
That's very true.
I mean, I feel like we probably should just try and get someone to kill us.
And that's certainly an option. Does anyone here own any wealth or title?
No.
I mean,
Yeah, me neither.
I don't own wealth. My
He
parents
points
have
to
wealth.
his ratty attire and says, "Do I look like a silk snob?"
wait. Did you say that your parents are rich, Tarek?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not rich, but my parents they're comfortable.
Do we? What if we say? Well, I was gonna
No,
say, what if
no,
we
no.
just said that your family was rich and did that and like spread the word around the tavern and like some places in the next few days, maybe, or tonight, and then leave town to see what happens.
They know despite an outward showing.
Yeah.
It might be worth seeing where these people stayed, who they talked to,
Yeah.
because then we might know whether this information was found out through spying on them or if they have perhaps some
A network?
magical means of finding that information.
That's a good point.
I have actually already compiled much of this information.
You're amazing.
Wonderful, Travis. Thank you.
Therefore, I have deduced each stayed in a different location as they each had either family or money and means to stay wherever they liked. They did not stay in any communal spots. Some did stop in places and have food. Others did have work done at some shops. But as far as I can tell, no one should have known about the last one.
Really?
Yeah, what happened there?
They were simply on a journey and they died in the same manner, yet I could not find any information of them saying who they were in the city. Only after their death was it alerted who they were and their noble lineage. But as far as I can tell, within the city, they moved about normally with only a single guard with them as to not draw suspicion. So, somewhere, somehow, someone learned.
Did all these people, you said they had something of value on them. Did they all, do you know if they came into the city with that or if it was something they purchased or acquired while they were here?
Assumably, all of the items were of their own upon arrival.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And these items were gone. They were robbed or no?
All items were missing.
Right. If they're targeting different roads, if we do stage something, we should maybe try a road that hasn't been attacked before.
That
No
might
reason to
be
think it would
a
happen twice.
smart idea. What was your question, Perix?
Right.
I do not remember.
Understood. So, I believe it is best to try and gather information and discern how these are being targeted. I will say specifically, I have noted they fall within a certain window. They are not the elite who come through with full guard. Those are not accidentally preyed upon. Those are left alone. Only the ones who are a surefire, easy pickings bet have been chosen, which was the confusing part, because they have yet to accidentally target the wrong person. Hey, Longshot RPG, thanks so much for the raid. We are hanging out here in the Cauldareen Chronicles, our 5e real play. Thanks so much and welcome in. So, if you can discern how they are picking targets, you might be able to figure out how to lure them.
Hiccup raises his hand to ask a question.
Yes, Hiccup.
And then he just slaps his hand back down on the table gently and asks, "Did any of them have wagons? Like the guy who almost ran you over?"
One or two of them did, in fact. Another, that last party, was on foot. And the original was simply 4 on horseback, but no wagons.
Okay, so there's no consistency with with method of transport. Those are by far the fanciest words I think I've ever used. I must be taking this very seriously.
They were, in fact, used quite eloquently.
I'm impressed, Hiccup.
Ah, thanks.
So,
How? Ruby's gonna struggle. How trustworthy is the network of guards here?
what do you mean?
I mean, could there be somebody among them manning the gates that would know this information that might spread it around?
How would the gates come into play?
The guards themselves. Sorry,
The guards?
the guards.
That is a possibility. The guards could have something to do with this.
Also, do you know of any places they are frequented? If it's someone who's in the city, who's reading minds or using magic to figure out important items, it's easy enough to figure out not to attack the people with tons of guards. But if all of these people were attacked by the same person, they had to have crossed them at some point.
I am unsure. My information that I uncovered did not point to any location that all of the victims frequented. None of them seem to have crossed paths beyond entering the city and leaving it to die. Now, I am unsure of how to verify the guards. I suppose you could, in fact, ask one. What would you like to ask them?
I'm not sure yet.
Then I suppose it is something to think on. Ah, here comes our food. And at this point, Kree comes to the table and hits the table, dealing out all of the food that you had all ordered and the drinks that you had requested, and places it along and says, well, I'm so glad y'all came in. Y'all picked a heck of a night to be here. I am always bringing in fun talent to come entertain folks here. And I think you guys will enjoy your stay here at the Silver Spoon. Well, I know you will. And oh, here they are now. And goes to greet this evening's entertainment. And you see walking in the door the band of the band from earlier.
God.
And
What were they called again?
the bandettes, the band of brunettes.
Oh,
And as they walk in, she greets them all and says, welcome. I'm so happy to see you. And they shake her hand and they give her a warm embrace as they are. We're so glad to be here. We have a bit of time tonight. And we're happy to always perform here. You've been nothing but good to us, Kree. And we'll get set up and we'll play. But we got to head out first thing. We got an early gig. And so they go and they set up and they begin playing. And they're good. They're damn good. They're like real fun. They're a little bit of that like punk rock sort of energy.
Hell
But
yeah.
it's super fun. And Jarvis says, I do enjoy. They often have music here at the Silver Spoon, and sometimes they have other styles of entertainment. In the last month, someone came in and juggled and told jokes. It was hilarious.
Jarvis, do you laugh?
It depends on the day, but yes, ha, ha, ha.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure, you know.
Absolutely.
Precious.
If you ever require it again, simply ask.
I appreciate that.
Hiccup looks at band,
You have a
and then
wonderful
looks back at the group and says, how often do these band people play? Like, how
Band-
I've
often
never
are they
been here before.
Bands play throughout the city. This is a city known for entertainment. There are lots of opportunities for entertainers to play in this city. Why do you ask?
He shrugs, says, well, if people travel around not too far from here, they might have a better sense of a travel pattern. It's kind of what some hunters do. Observe what they want to hunt before they strike.
I hadn't thought of that. I will give that some thought. But technically, this is now your mission, and I am simply your informant. I can help you in any way that you need, and that is my current information.
Hiccup nods and says before he takes a bite, anybody could be a hunter if they tried hard enough. And he just takes a nasty bite of meat.
And the night goes on, and the music plays, and the diner fills up as the evening crowd comes in. And the bandettes rock a show because the people here just fucking love them. And Cree comes over and is serving so many people, and she's entertaining. She even gets up on stage and plays a song or two, and you're like, oh, okay. And she kills it. It's very sassy but somber, and it was like, that was good and unexpected. And as the night winds down, it becomes time to retire. And Jarvis tells you all that you will be shown to your room, and you can opt to do whatever you would like, if you would like to continue working through the night or pick up in the morning.
Hiccup definitely wants to take a walk through the city, just kind of map things out a little bit more so he can get a better feel of navigating before he calls it a night.
I'm saying
Take
if you
someone with you.
want to walk with party,
We can all go on a walk.
bad bitches.
Yeah, we'll go on the
Bad
walk.
bitches.
We'll go on the walk.
Yeah, I'll team up with Nightshade.
All the best thinking's done while, vaguely buzzed and on a walk, right?
And at night,
Yeah.
under the stars.
And at night.
Yes.
Excellent. And you go on a walk, and Jarvis leaves you to do as you like and has given you the key to your room and told you where it was, and you are all off to do as you need. And as you wander the streets, you see the nightlife is still just as alive. And everyone roll a perception check.
Ooh, yes. What?
All right. 18.
10.
12.
My new
Also
die,
12.
either below a 10 or above a 10. There's no in between with this new dice so far.
I mean, that's all of the numbers on the die.
Either really good or really bad.
Really bad.
I swear to God, these
All right,
unfortunately have
Brutus-
numbers from 1 to 20 on it.
Brutus, what was your roll?
Also a 12.
And Tare?
22.
Okay, and so a 22, and Ruby got an 18?
No, I did not. I got a 12.
I got the 18.
Okay, so Hiccup and Tare, as you're walking with the group, you're walking the streets, and it's still alive, but things are running about, and you see some guards bustle past, and you hear one mutter to the other, there's been some killing. Yeah, somebody found the bodies out on the road, about a half day's ride from here. Damn raiders.
I would like to. Well, I should not be the one stealthing to eavesdrop even further, but I want to.
There's only 2 of you who succeeded on that check.
I'll
so.
go ahead and turn around to the others and whisper to everybody. There's been another kid not too far away. Half a day's ride.
Where?
I blame raiders. They
And-
didn't say which.
We can ask, or
Just follow.
The same order.
He he's like, wait, I have an idea. I can just
Okay.
ask them as
No.
a traveler who's passing through to know, hey, what road do we want to avoid? We'll keep it to ourselves.
It is always better to ask forgiveness than permission. You should just
Agreed.
follow them.
oh, that's new to me. Okay.
Oh no.
Are you sure? I can just like go up in a panic, say that my sister's traveling on the road and I overheard them and I want to make sure that she's safe.
Good.
Do that.
But if you go up, you do that, and then a couple of us will sort of back off to the side, out of sight.
Sure. Brutus is gonna put on her best like distressed face and come after the guards real quick and like really like desperately like put a hand on one of their shoulders and be like, I'm so sorry. I just I couldn't help it over here. My sister is traveling. She was leaving the city and I can you tell me anything?
Roll a performance check.
Performance. I was going for deception, but I can do.
You know what? No, I would give deception because you are lying right now.
I'm straight up lying. Cool. So +6. That's an 18.
Nice.
Unfortunately, they rolled a nat 20.
Not
That's
nice.
Oh,
And
no.
so in response, an 18 is really good, but a nat 20 barely beats it there. And so the guard responds to you. No, I'm sorry. Who are you?
I'm just traveling through, but my sister was going on ahead.
And
Thea, I came through the gates earlier.
okay, I'm sorry. We can't discuss official business.
Can you at least tell me which road so I know it wasn't the one she was on? Please.
If it's your sister, then I can assure you she is fine. That is not who we are talking about.
Okay,
And walks off.
Thank you.
Can I stealth behind the guards?
Roll a stealth check.
As I also want to help.
Ah, that's so bad. That's a 10.
But they are currently preoccupied and do not notice you.
Nice.
Stealth.
And that's you stealth, and you hear them say, "That's all we need is fucking commoners getting up in a tree about this. Their damn noble got themselves killed."
Derek rolls their eyes.
And as they mutter to themselves, "Another damn noble got themselves killed," and continues walking, and you don't hear much else from them, other than it sounds like everything was taken, and that's about it. Hey, thanks for the raid, Super Dylan. Welcome in.
Nice.
Welcome in, everybody. And they continue on, and that's kind of the last bit of information they really say about it.
What gate do they leave through?
They don't leave through a gate. They just head towards towards kind of reporting somewhere.
Well, I go back with the group. Another noble died. Didn't hear where.
It was a good try.
And I guess
What-
one thing that you would have pieced together from this, especially with that stealth, one thing I will give is you would have heard that this happened This happened very recent. Like somebody found them on the. Sorry, let me retcon that a little bit. Somebody found them on the way into town. And found their bodies and then ran the rest of the way into town to like tell somebody.
I relay that to everyone.
And it was, from what their understanding, they're just getting that information and they're going to deal with that like right now. But it seems rather recent.
So it sounds like those guards didn't have a clue, but Terex, I think your idea about looking into the guard is a good one. I mean, if these people have no other points of contact, they at least have to talk to the guards like we did, right?
I think is that Ruby who had that idea, I think.
Oh, I thought it was Terex.
Yeah.
I can't see anybody else, so I'm just going up.
No, yeah, you're good. You're good.
We're a team here. It's fine.
Just giving credit where credit's due.
I appreciate it.
I mean,
The
yeah.
idea about the performers also wasn't a bad idea.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe stake out the gods for a little bit, see if they move. Maybe stake out the performers, see if they do anything weird.
Yes.
There's a lot of each.
There's a lot of each. We have to set
So
up
maybe if there's like a central gathering where they tend to go to, like their own watering hole of some kind.
Yeah, where the performers hang out, it's silent because none of them are performing.
We go there and they're all performing at once. It's just an open mic. It's just a constant open mic.
So, where are you wanting to go based on these choices you've got before you?
Let's split the party.
I mean, not a smart idea, but also smart idea. I don't know. This is a difficult decision.
Well, okay, and this is like Brutus thinking about it. So, like, people who are investigating the guards need to be quiet, quick on their feet, stealthy like. People going and investigating performers probably need to be able to talk, blend in with the crowd, right? So if we do split like that,
Okay.
does that make sense? I think.
Makes perfect sense.
It makes sense.
I don't know if I would be the best at that part.
Which part?
At the
Yes.
performing part.
You can turn into animals. Can you turn into things besides dogs?
I can. And I can be a camel.
I don't think camel is quite what we were thinking.
Okay.
I love that though.
Try again.
Inconspicuous.
Oh, a rat or a cat?
Perfect. Either
Maybe-
option sounds great.
Maybe go for cats. People tend to like try and kill rats, and that would be awkward.
I don't want to die.
So maybe a cat?
Okay.
Something like that. Thanks.
I'm so excited.
First, you need to
So,
figure
what is
out
your decision?
where the performers go. So,
Yeah, we do need to find out if that even is a thing. We can just grab somebody and just ask, be like,
we're aspiring.
is there a place where performers hang out?
Yeah, we could also go ask Cree. She seems to know stuff about town.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good contact.
Yeah.
So, which of you feel comfortable and or can go talk to performers? Besides,
I can do whatever
I
you need to,
need
Captain.
I'm fine either way. I can talk things to people.
I can talk to people.
What did you say, Brutus?
Brutus is like, I can talk if need be. Unless I take my armor off, I'm just trash at sneaking about.
Okay, so performer might be the best way for you to go then. You seem pretty good at acting. You convince the guards. I think with
I
advantage.
don't know they bought it, but yeah,
Oh,
I can do it.
You're gonna have to have a little more confidence than that.
I can do it.
There you go. Thank you. Ruby's like, there you go. Who would you like to go with? Who do you want to go with, Hebrew?
Sorry, my system completely glitched when you asked that question one more time.
Oh.
Oh,
Who do you want to go with, Hebrew?
anyone who feels comfortable. I feel like
Other
playing
than
to our strong
your
suits is a
cat.
good bet here.
Other than your cat.
I mean, I can go with you.
Okay.
I don't think I can be very convincing with guards, but other people think I'm cool. Kind of.
I'm sure
kind
you
of.
can be plenty entertaining.
Yeah.
Pear, are you coming to be stealthy or are you headed with... Okay, perfect. Terex, do you mind being with me?
Not at all.
Perfect.
Right.
The plan is find out where the performers go. Act like you're looking for somewhere to go because you're an aspiring performers. I'm sure you can come up with
Right.
something, especially with Take-Up. And we will go figure out where we need to go to sneak in and or convince the guards to why we're there.
Okay. And with a plan in mind, Team 10 decides their best course of action. A team separating to pursue performers and keep an eye on the workings of the entertainment in this city. And another team unsure if the guards who protect it are truly worthy of that title. Team 10 separates to go their own ways, to work towards a common goal. These are the next defenders of this land. These are the Cauldareen Chronicles. And that's where we'll end today.
Hell yeah.
You know, usually when I say split the party, everyone shoots me down. So I'm
Yeah.
very happy.
It's not always the worst decision.
Oh, gosh.
Not always.
On splitting the party. The only thing I worry about when we say split the party is Corso.
What could possibly go wrong? I TPK'd you in the first episode. It can only
we-
go
that's
up
the-
from
yeah,
here.
We can't die again.
He died once.
It's the opposite of Chekhov's gun. You know, we died in the first episode, so we're immortal.
I know, chat.
No.
How are y'all doing, all 34 of you?
Woo!
This is the Cauldareen Chronicles. I wasn't nervous about the party splitting until that final narration.
Yeah, no, when it's like, these are the defenders.
Yo,
These guys.
I wasn't nervous about it at all,
These
sweet
schmucks.
flip. I wasn't nervous at all, because it's not repercussions for me.
Thanks, Corso. We'll look to...
Hey, folks, we are the Cauldareen Chronicles. This show happens every 2 weeks, Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central Time. We're a kick-ass 5e real play podcast doing our thing. Every one of us, we've got TikToks and we've got Twitches. Make sure to follow everybody here. Hey, Billy, thank you so much for that stub. And thanks for the killer dice to Brutus. Repping
Thank you.
repping your game store. So thank you so much for that. Is this session continued? So we just ended this right now, but every 2 weeks we will be doing it. So no, it'll be this session continued. It's just this story. So don't worry, you're gonna know these characters, learn to love them. Everybody will be back. Jarvis will be back. You know, everybody.
Hey.
Our Casanova of a robot.
Yeah. Jarvis has literal plot armor.
It's a good time, Android Casanova.
So yeah, we've got not only that, you'll get to know the characters. Make sure you check us out. This is the Lark Network. Every week we have amazing shows going on. On Mondays, I run Melee Ball, which is the first ever D&D sporting event I built from scratch. We run that every Monday with amazing groups, amazing casts. Next week, we've got some really fun folks like Dono the Cleric and Alec the Bard from TikTok. Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much for those 25 emotes shared and those gifted tiers. You're amazing, folks. On Wednesdays, every Wednesday we do the Monsters Out of Context podcast, where we talk about monsters from the Monster Manual. That's at 1 p.m. Central Time, and then you can watch the VODs later. And then not only do we talk about the monsters, we build new ones live by inverting the old ones, creating cool, interesting new monsters. From there, we also have this every 2 weeks, so we do that. And then on Saturdays, Moose here, who played Tear, runs the Super Splash of Color. You want to hit him with that?
Absolutely. Super Splash of Color is a wonderful one-shot series playing with different people of color on the channel. So that is absolutely amazing. What we do is between the sessions, we get to do interviews with the players. So this upcoming Saturday, come on down and watch us have a chat with Dice Goblin Andre.
I love Dice Goblin.
I love him.
I love
Andre.
And
And the week after that, we'll get to play the one shot itself. So come on down. I'll be DMing and it'll be a great time.
yeah, it's going to be an awesome time. You can see myself, Moose, and Amelia, who played Terex, are the three quiet heads of the Hydra that is the Lark Network. And then Shenzi hanging out there in the chat. I've seen Abby, who runs the Wednesday show with me, Monsters Out of Context. The four of us make up the entity that handles all of this. So come support a super diverse cast doing super amazing things. And we're coming after everybody you can think of.
Yeah, you are.
Y'all like Critical Role, y'all like the Adventure Zone, and so do we. And one day, they're going to like us. Thanks, everybody. This is the Cauldareen Chronicles. See y'all in 2 weeks.
We lied.
Now, I lied to you.
We're back.
We've got to be
Yay.
better about this. So, as a community, let's support somebody who has supported, like the way you guys have supported us. So, let's go ahead and find somebody right now on Twitch who could use a good raid from all of you fun folks. Let's check out any D&D streams going on right now who don't have a ton of folks. Categories
There is a Twitch Slays D&D. that I
Twitch
pulled up.
plays D&D with only 9 viewers. Oh,
Oh,
sick.
is that?
Let's go raid them. All
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Twitch plays D&D. Yo,
Yeah.
folks. Let's
Yeah.
show
We're
let's show
all
that
great.
Lark Network fun. So raid Twitch plays D&D.
Twitch Slays D&D.
I got us. All right. Boom. We are gonna get everybody in here. We're gonna go flood these folks, and we're gonna show them some love. Y'all got 4 more seconds. Like I said, we're the Cauldareen Chronicles. It's a blast to have you all here, and thank you so much for being who you are. Let's ride.
Yeah, let's show him some dark.
Oh no!
That's fine.
Did that work?
Ah,
Oh
God, break.
no!
who are these? Who do these people think they are with us rating them?
Running around leaving scars.
That's so funny. Oh, look, they still responded to us.
Nice though.
Maybe we can raid someone else from that.
Oh, dang. All right.
Well,
Probably a good spike in their viewers.
that's still good.
Yeah. Yeah, I love the song so much.
Of course, those things, fuck you. You like this song? Not anymore. Okay. Nah, that's shit.
You're like, I can't stop myself. It's too late. Yeah, you're fine.
Already in
Almost
motion. But put it out of motion. That everybody?
Yeah, I'm gonna miss it next time.
I felt bad. I felt bad in my heart.